Hello everyone and welcome to the RPGeeks. We are a bunch of professional science communicators who blend Dungeons and Dragons and science. But we're doing things a little differently this week. My name is Simon. I am not Shamini, who normally does the intro. I know.
Whoa, just stop.
Podcast listeners
right there
will immediately tell the difference. But unfortunately, you're missing out on below me in the video. We have some wonderful art of Tenebris. You're going to have to go and check out the VOD. But Shamini has had some art made of her character, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. I love this art, by the way.
It's by Hilda Glitz Art on Instagram, which is HildaGlitzart. Hooray.
And yeah, check out the VOD if you're listening on the podcast.
It's so pretty and cute.
But hello.
What's amazing is she's looking off camera at something.
She's looking at her portrait, the other portrait. It's like a Narcissus type thing.
She's looking.
Am I looking the right way?
Hi. Hello everyone, by the way. My name is Simon. I use he, him pronouns, and I am a
you were looking the wrong way.
Communicator. No. And I do videos, and I do podcasts, and I do live streams such as this one. And I am joined by Emily Bates.
Hello, I am Emily Bates. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a science video producer, and I make videos about science and play D&D a lot. That is what I do. That's my life. Ali.
Oh God. My name is, I can't even remember this. And my name is Ali Jennings. I do make videos too, sometimes podcasts. I use the power of my voice to normally at this point I would just scream roll film, but you've left me high and dry at this point, and I have no power.
We are switching up the order we normally do things, dear watchers and listeners. We are going to be doing the DnDebrief first and then the game, so we can't now roll the film, which is the intro to the game,
and we also can't roll into Shamini's intro because she is not here right now,
which we didn't say.
Shamini is still with us on this mortal coil, but she's just not in the Zoom call right now.
We fall apart without Shamini, apparently. So yeah, she'll be back later for the actual game, but we're just going to be doing the DnDebrief before she comes back.
And we should mention, because we anticipate that quite a few of you, hopefully, will be coming new to this stream / podcast / video series. We're going to do a very brief recap of the story so far and get you up to date with the latest comings and goings of our characters, because since we recorded the interviews for the video that appeared on my channel,
which was beautiful.
Happened.
Thank you, Simon, for making that.
Well, no, thank you. I've got to say, Emily Bates was the person responsible for lighting and shooting the interviews at her flat, and they look very nice.
Which is why I look awful in it and everyone else looks great, and that's what I'm sticking with.
It's like going to the barbers and picking the person who has the worst hair to cut yours, because they're the one who cuts everyone else's hair. So you go, that's how you can do it.
Simon agreeing that I looked awful in the video.
No, I'm saying that you were the one that did the work. I did not opine on what you said.
Yeah. You put the light there. It was good. The coloured light in the background. Anyway, we don't need to talk about the making of the video. It was fun. It was good. Right. I guess, should we just start some music rolling for the DnDebrief and jump straight into the DnDebrief? Because this is calm music. It's very weird not having the roll film and having the opportunity to be like, oh, we're going, here we go. Woo.
Yeah, I mean, but also I'm interested to know how this kind of way of organizing things works. Whether, is it better to have the DnDebrief at the beginning to kick things off with a bit of science and then, to just roll out into the story?
I think normally no, because I always find the game, I don't know, I'm saying that. I was about to say the game takes a lot out of me. So maybe it is better. This is not the chat for now. Let's talk about this.
I've just updated our category to science and technology, and we'll see if more people will come into that and then stay for the D&D rather than coming for the D&D and staying for the science.
That's on Twitch for people on YouTube or podcast. You can watch us live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on twitch.tv/Dr. Simon Clark.
God, we're getting good at this. It's dangerous. We've got to change something soon. So we're not.
Shami's not here, and we're doing really good plugging because normally Shami does all the plugs. So now the three of us are having to do it. So we're jumping in all over the place.
Just plugging each other left, right, and centre.
No.
And with that, Ali Jennings, the floor is yours for talking about. So actually, last week something that came up, and I'm going to plow through this, much like Shamini does most weeks. Apparently, is
you plow through something.
It's the spell Calm Emotions, which so Shamini attempted to use on my character, Yuri. I realised that we didn't actually talk about our characters, but we can do that.
I think let's do that for the recap. Yeah.
But Shamini attempted to use it on me during last session. It didn't work. And Ali, you wanted to have a bit of a chat about the science behind calm emotions.
I did. I wanted to have a fireside chat. Is there any way that you could put a fireside over my background now? Is that possible?
Oh wow!
We'll do it live.
It's just been.
We'll do it live.
Nice
while you do that, shall I read what the spell Calm Emotions says?
Go for
That's
it.
a great shout.
Yeah. So, Calm Emotions is a second-level enchantment spell in D&D. You attempt to suppress strong emotions in a group of people. Each humanoid in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point you choose must make a charisma saving throw. A creature... this is all not needed. You can suppress any effect causing a target to be charmed or frightened. When the spell ends, any suppressed effect resumes, provided that its duration has not expired in the meantime. It doesn't really say that they just become calm, but they do. Yeah, anyway, that's it. So, alternatively, you can make a target indifferent about creatures of your choice that is hostile towards it. This indifference ends if the target is attacked or harmed by a spell, or if it witnesses any of its friends being harmed, which is fair. When the spell ends, the creature becomes hostile again. But that's not how Shamini or Tenebris, her character, planned to use it. She was trying to relax Simon's character, Uriel, who was freaking the fuck out.
I'm sorry. I was freaking out justifiably because I just saw a giant satyr explode into a bunch of butterflies.
Did I say it wasn't justified? No.
I just felt like I needed that context.
Okay. I wasn't just freaking out for no reason. God! That's you.
Yeah. So there's a lot of interesting bits in that spell description, right? So the first one is calm emotions, but it only lasts for a minute, right? So that's something to bear in mind if you're trying to do if you're trying to work out how that might work in real life. It can only last for 1 minute. And the second is that you suppress emotions, which isn't necessarily the same as calming them. But I'm going to get to all that stuff later, right?
Okay. Sorry, I've just looked over at the Twitch and there's just sort of a general fire burning and it is now behind you, but it's less of a like cute bonfire, like your home fire. And
look, it's the asset that I had to hand, fire. Okay?
That is the least
This
calm
is the inside behind.
That is, I am on fire in this calming scenario.
I've kept you warm for the rest of your life, Ali. You're welcome.
Wow. Okay. So, okay.
It's perfect.
Calm emotions. To begin with, I guess you have to know what is an emotion. Ali, what's an emotion?
Oh, boy.
What do I feel?
Tell me what I feel.
Which also relates to infinity, so I'm intrigued.
Why did you program me to feel pain? Sorry, I went back to David Bowie again. That was a pre-stream conversation. Sorry. What's an emotion, Ali? Go.
Oh, God.
I set him up so nicely, Simon, and then you were like, no. Swear.
No. David Bowie. Does he feel emotions? He probably does, but a whole spectrum of emotions that we don't understand.
I hate to break it to you, Ali, but David Bowie did die a few
I don't think he feels emotions anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Wherever he is now, he may well.
Oh, okay. That's a whole other DnDebrief.
So, right. What was that?
What is emotion? What are emotion?
What are emotions? Okay, well, Etymology Corner, right? For you, Dr. Clark.
He loves
my favourite
corner.
I learned some really cool etymologies this week. I really hope they come up.
Did you learn them in preparation?
No, I've started a Notion page. Whenever I learn a cool etymology, I just make a note of it now, and I'll eventually accumulate like a big pile of them.
It's amazing.
Can your second book be called Etymology Corner and just be about interesting etymologies? I want half the profits now. Thank you. That's I'm taking it.
Feels legit. I've witnessed that.
Yeah,
I've seen the verbal contract.
Twitch chat, you saw it too. People listening on the podcast and YouTube, I'm not cutting this out, so you saw it too.
Second book confirmed.
What is an emotion, Ali?
Etymology Corner. Welcome. Emotion comes originally from émouvoir, which is 16th century French.
Say
and
that
it just
again.
means émouvoir.
Émouvoir.
And it means to stir up.
Ooh.
Oh.
When you stir up emotions, you're stirring up.
Oh my God.
Stir up.
Stirception.
Stir it up twice. Anyway, right. So, there's lots of different ways of thinking about emotions. Obviously, this is a huge topic in neuroscience and like our lives, like the lives of humans. But you can break it down
Damn.
roughly, right? And there's a few ways of doing it. So one way is by cognitive appraisal, which basically just means, what are you thinking about? What is the actual kind of thoughts behind the emotion?
Okay.
If you were trying to work out what it was. The next one is bodily, like, response, your heart rate, or your sweating, or even like your facial expressions, which can be quite difficult to hide, right? They're sort of an automatic response, even though some of them are more controllable than others. And then how you actually feel, which is your subjective sort of conscious state,
Right.
whilst you are processing the information and feeling the bodily feelings that you're having during this emotion.
Okay. So that's the kind of like top level stuff, right? That you can't really, because you can think about, I think I feel sad because and then you have the physiological response to feeling sad. And then you have the thought that you're sad, but you're saying the sadness is like another level, like encompassing that.
Well, the first thing would be like, I see my pet rabbit being eaten by my father, right?
That was
And then you're
incredibly
like-
specific.
That
but
is,
cool.
are you okay, Ali? My God.
And then
Poor bunny.
you process what's happened, right? Like just the technical aspects of what just happened.
Oh no,
That's
my
the
rabbit's
cognitive
been eaten by
appraisal.
my father. Yeah, okay.
Well, you're not even no, just like, I witnessed my rabbit
Oh,
being eaten
okay, yep.
by my father. All right, that's a thing. Then you get the bodily symptoms, and then all of those combine to form some sort of feeling, right? Which is this emotion concept, which we call emotions, right? But actually, that's a very sort of vague. Yeah.
I have a question. If you didn't have the bodily response to the thing you are witnessing and therefore processing, does that mean you're not feeling the emotion?
Great question, Emily Bates.
Thank you.
I've got to think.
Great question.
Come on, Simon, catch up.
Yes, you, Clark, at the back of the hall. Were you a bit late to this? Anyway, just make sure you.
I hope you brought enough questions for everybody.
So this. Oh my God! Am I a burning building now? I've just caught that.
It's actually a fireplace. But
That is a fireplace now on Twitch chat. Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, great.
Not Twitch chat.
Yeah. So the answer to that is I don't actually know, right? Because it's quite
Interesting.
difficult to. Basically, what you would have to do to test that is you would have to numb the physiological effects of any sort of emotion, which would be heart rate, like sweating,
Yeah.
breathing
Probably
rate. Like you would have to control
involve death.
that.
Or... but
I
I'm
mean,
just
or at least, it's
it's interesting from Infinity's
paralytics.
point of view, because obviously she couldn't previously, feel her emotions, but she would still have been processing the information that she was receiving. So I don't know, just it's interesting. Tell me more. Oh, Simon's got a question now.
Oh, pick me.
Okay, right, you better be
Anyone else
relevant.
has their hand up, Simon?
Simon.
Is this
Question for
something?
question's sake.
Is this something that can be isolated in, for example, if you put someone in an MRI and you showed, say, 100 people the same thing, like their rabbit being eaten by their own father, would you see the same type of response in their brains?
Oh,
That's a good question, Simon. That's good.
He means
Well,
fMRI when he says MRI.
Yeah. So so MRI measures the structure. So that's just looking at how the brain's built physically, and then fMRI is measuring maybe how it works, but not really. It's just measuring the blood flow to the different areas, and even that's only like 2 seconds late. So, what does it really?
It's a bit wishy-washy.
Is the
Yeah,
F like ferromagnetic?
Functional.
Functional. So incredibly functional. Just
It's like those regular
devastatingly
MRIs,
functional.
they're just so unfunctional. Infunctional? Unfunctional. Dysfunctional. There we go.
Yeah. So so what happens is you light up a few areas, which basically just means that when you have certain emotions, certain areas receive more blood flow or receive less blood flow. I'm not actually completely sure like what the exact different areas are depending on the different kinds of emotional stimulus, but it does happen. But I'll get to that. I'll get to that. I promise you. So the emotional breakdown thing. So if you can, as in not having an emotional breakdown, as in breaking down what emotions are.
That's
Originally,
my
it was
Tuesdays.
It was thought that right at the very beginning of psychology, right, the godfather of psychology, this guy called William James, was like, I think that all emotions are us perceiving our own physiological changes. So
Right.
I'm angry because I hit someone, right?
Oh,
But
okay.
more specifically, I'm angry because my heart rate went up.
Because
So
all of the stuff happened that made me angry. Right.
Exactly. But this is super clever, which I love it, right? So that works, except a sensory stimulus has to pass through the brain proper in order to reach the
Amygdala?
the amygdala does come into it,
Right.
but that's kind of a bit later on. But
Okay.
in order to trigger an actual physiological response, right? So if you get like punched in the arm by the bully in your school, your particular bully who does it like every day,
I can see her face now, but yes, carry on.
that has to come that like nerve response has to come all the way up through the spine to your brain to be processed as I've been hit in the arm before you can process it as I feel pain. So
Yeah.
you must have cognitively worked out what was happening before you actually had the sensation of pain, which is supposed to trigger your emotions. Does that make sense?
Why? Wait, sorry. So
that means that it can't be we're angry because we strike, because
right, yeah.
you had to have like understood that you were striking someone or being struck
Yes, absolutely.
before you
Yeah,
had that feeling.
the bully was 100%. Okay, yeah.
So then you get this guy Schachter with this two-factor theory proposal, which is awesome. And that basically what he says is that, okay, it works in two ways. What you have is you have arousal, or you have physical arousal mixed with cognitive interpretation.
Your eyebrows down, Simon.
But seriously, right? So you can you put those eyebrows back up, right? Because actually, what
I can do one if you want.
That's getting there. So what? Okay, this is one of
My
these
eyebrows
awesome...
don't move very much. Can I show it if you're on? Sorry, podcast listeners. Ready? So right, this is them like down, and then.
Oh my god, they
gosh.
barely move.
I know.
That's crazy. I just assumed you didn't show
But
emotion.
I can still make it look like they're doing stuff. I still have expressive eyes, but my eyebrows just go only a little way.
For podcast listeners, it's like watching an ant do bench press. Like it's moving like 5 millimeters at most.
It's quite powerful, isn't it? Much like an ant. Like there's a lot of force going into the eyebrow movement.
I know what emotion Emily Bates is feeling when I look at her eyebrows. The tiniest movements. Sorry, that was a slight derailing. Ali, as you were. My eyebrows were back up.
Excellent. Right. Good. Thank you, Clark.
Mine were attempting
well
to
done. So basically what they wanted to do is they wanted to test whether you could separate these two, like if it was both cognition and physiological response. So they invited a load of people for an eye test, right? They were like, right, we're going to test this new eye drug on you. Can you just come and wait in this waiting room? And we're going to give you an injection of this drug, and then we're going to test your eyesight. But they didn't inject them with a new eye test drug. They injected them with a shitload of adrenaline.
Oh god, I miss old psychology tests. Fuck me, just insanity.
So these people come into this room, right? And they, for reasons they don't understand, they just feel completely like, just like. And then there's one person in the waiting room next to them who's like another person who's being experimented on, except they're not, right? They are
a plant
working with the experimenter, and that person's only job is to show one of two emotions. One of them is complete euphoria, right? Like just dissolving in happiness, and the other one is total rage, right?
Oh my god!
Wow!
But why? Why were they doing that?
Because basically it says that the person who came in who was full of adrenaline just copied the emotion of the other person. It was like being full of adrenaline didn't make you happy or sad. It was just seeing what the other person
That's so
was.
interesting. So basically, because they were having this extreme physiological response and they witnessed someone else having an emotion, they went, that's why my heart is racing so much, because I'm about to be sad, or I'm about to be euphoric, or I'm about to be angry.
Yeah, exactly. So when you say like it's about arousal, what's interesting is I think there's another version of the experiment where basically you inject someone with adrenaline, and basically you can show someone a load of porn, or you can show someone on some other thing which isn't sexual related, and basically that adrenaline will either go towards being
pet rabbit
arousal, will either go towards being like sexual arousal, or it'll just go somewhere completely different. Like sexual arousal isn't
But I can understand. So basically, is this saying that there is a subconscious, the physiological response is not it's not a conscious thing, right? It's like you walk into say
right.
your partner like in flagrante with someone else, and it's like that sees an immediate physiological response of like, well, I guess that would be increased heart rate, like your muscles tense up, like all the blood rushes from your stomach and everything, and your brain just interprets that as the emotion of rage or.
But that's really interesting. So it's like, how did you even trigger those responses without realizing that your partner was in flagrante, right?
So there's a subconscious system and then a conscious system on top of it. Is that the idea?
But it's more like, it's not just like one than the other. What it's saying is, look, you can see something happening which should make you angry, right? But you can't get as angry as you should be without the unconscious stuff kicking in and basically being like, right now, you've understood you should be angry. Now I'm going to make you actually angry by giving you this boost of unconscious physiological stimulation. That's the idea.
So that's interesting. So it's only once your consciousness actually clocks into it that.
Well, so the idea is that you have to understand there's something to be angry about. But even if you've understood there's something to be angry at, you're not going to be angry until your unconscious physiology is like, boom, let me give you the tools to be angry. I'm going to inject you full of adrenaline. And then you're like, just make sure you remember what to be angry about. And then your brain's like, yeah, got it.
Have they done this with anyone with split brain? Because you could show one side, the side that's not. Oh no, but then it'd still be language. No, ignore me. Okay, carry on.
That sounds brutal.
But the immediate sort of thing that I jumped to was then this idea in meditative practice and Buddhism of trying to divorce, like you are happier if you divorce your emotional side from stimuli. So you choose to not be angry, but you choose to be mindful and calm and all this self-centered stuff. So it's actually like that works in the sense of you're severing that conscious connection, or like you're consciously choosing to not acknowledge almost the physiological response.
But you are still having the physiological response because you can't control that.
Yeah.
So that's super interesting. And I found a whole paper on Zen Buddhism and like the neuroscience.
There's been loads of stuff done with Buddhists and
mindfulness and
neuroscience. It's
John
so interesting.
Zen was like the big guy who did a lot of this stuff, right?
So the mindfulness stuff, basically, the way that it works is it actually basically trains your, I don't want to call it your higher brain, but it's basically like your cortex, which is the more evolved part of the brain. And there's a kind of your prefrontal cortex, which is probably the most sort of the furthest along the intelligence ladder we've got as mammals. And basically, to jump ahead a bit, what that does is that controls, it basically has a feedback connection to some lower parts of the brain, which are good at pumping up emotion. And the prefrontal cortex can dampen that down. It has sort of like, it's like a fire hydrant. It can put out fires down there. And what mindfulness training does is it makes you better at using that part of your brain. It seems it increases the activity there.
Right.
And there is a physiological basis, or because I think it's one of these techniques. Like I've done mindfulness training in the past, and I found it's been really useful. Like it's something that I've noticed a definite effect. And this is basically saying there is actually it's not just kind of wishy-washy mysticism. Like there is actually a basis for it.
Yeah. I mean, mindfulness is very, very real. There was a recent fairly interesting paper about how 1 in 12 people who sort of try, I'm going to just check because I think it is, that it can actually worsen depression and anxiety in 1 in 12 people. So if you're sort of trying mindfulness, and particularly if you're just doing it through like an app or just, yourself just sat at home trying to do it, if it is making you feel worse, like do maybe take a step back and maybe go talk to a doctor or get like an actual guided mindfulness, because it can make, it's almost like your brain rebels against the fact that you're trying to calm it, and it's been proven that it can actually worsen
or you're more
depression and
heightened
anxiety.
You're drawing attention to what you're feeling in your body, and if you are feeling things that you weren't consciously aware of before, then it's like a oh my god, wait, what is this kind of reaction.
I'm not sure, but I mean I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's
because I had that when I did a mindfulness course when I was in my 4th year at Oxford, and it was with Danny Williams, who was like one of the key professors who'd worked on it. It was like an amazing opportunity. But I was about 3/4 of the way through the course. They did a session on, it was like a guided meditation type thing, and I didn't realize at the time my mental health was abysmal. Yeah. And I remember it was like it made everything a lot more intense, and I wanted to like run out of the room. which I think is because you are actually sitting with your emotions in a way that you perhaps you're consciously switching the attention onto them in a way that you weren't before.
Yeah. So just be careful out there. See a doctor.
So how does this relate to calm emotions?
Yes. So how does one calm an emotion?
Hold up. I just want to jump back on the mindfulness thing, right?
There better be an etymology in this, Ali.
Oh, no, it's not.
I'll Google the etymology of mindfulness.
I believe
drugs.
I believe it's a translation from Vietnamese because I think it's a term that Thich Nhat Hanh.
Mindfulness.
Brilliant. Etymol online says it's from mindful plus ness. Thanks.
Oh, great. Yeah.
That's really useful.
The floor here is made of
the
floor.
drug thing is that, so one of the kind of touted uses of psychedelic drugs is in the treatment of depression. And the idea being that you can process, you sort of get rid of some of the pre-existing like loops that you've been going through and find it difficult to get out of. And you basically get sort of, those loops get shattered a bit and then you can rebuild new, healthier loops in your brain. But it sounds like there's a sort of similarity to mindfulness there because you are forced to sit with your emotions. And when you take a psychedelic drug, you can't escape that. You don't have any sort of, you basically uncouple the top down, like I choose not to deal with these part of your brain. You just have to deal with it.
Having just mentioned about Thich Nhat Hanh, he's a fascinating guy. People don't know who he is. He's this Buddhist monk who was like, he's from Vietnam and has written loads of stuff and is like very influential. He's called, on his wiki, he's referred to as the father of mindfulness and kind of did a lot, I think, to bring Buddhism into the fold. He actually only just died. He died on the 22nd of January, which I did not know, and that's really sad.
I didn't know that.
There's some great interviews with him on YouTube where he sort of talks about, because I mean, he's one of these people that like Martin Luther King nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah,
it's like he's a big fucking deal.
Fucking deal.
So yeah, if people aren't aware,
take that fucking Don.
Don't you know who I am? I am so mindful.
That's what he said.
Yes, that's a direct quote.
Yeah, I am so fucking mindful.
Don't you know who I am? Thich Nhat Hanh, bitch. That's played by Vinnie Jones.
Just see him like jumping off onto someone's chest or something.
Be in touch with your emotions, he says, slapping the shit out of someone. Yes, but sorry, I interrupted there, Ali. You were saying about drugs.
Okay, right. So that was drugs. But anyway, let's forget about that. Let's just think about how do you actually calm these emotions? Right. So
I was about to say listening to Ali Jennings' voice, but then you went right.
Right. Vinnie Jones.
I'm Thich Nhat fucking Hanh, bitch.
Respect the dead.
Yeah, very, very respected Buddhist monk.
There's a special place in hell. So, right. Okay, so there's a sort of like a more obvious route, at least obvious to me anyway, because I'm always sort of, this is what my training tells me to think about, right? Which is drugs, essentially. If you wanted to calm emotions, there's drugs which will do it for you, right? And the most obvious one,
alcohol.
I don't know about that. It's a depressant, but I don't know if it calms emotions.
I suppose.
It just makes them more difficult to control.
Oh, well, I mean, like, sertraline, just going straight into antidepressants. Marijuana.
So I'm thinking like so sertraline, right, is a serotonin reuptake inhibitor, which means that it's about getting rid of negative.
Well, no, it just generally levels you, doesn't it?
I mean, it gets rid of like the super high levels as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert,
in my experience, it leveled everything. Like the very lows were moderate, and then the very highs were also.
Yeah.
Then yes, definitely sertraline, but I don't know how that would work. I do know how the one that I'm going to say is going to work, but I mean, the sertraline thing is an interesting one, because serotonin does like loads of other different shit, which I wouldn't. Anyway, so Valium, right?
Oh.
Valium. Valium to me is something that doesn't exist in the UK, and I know that sounds so stupid, but I feel like I only have ever experienced it in like American culture. Like it's always brought up. Is it called something else over here, or is it just Valium and just no one talks about it? Like, I popped a Valium.
It's probably because I mean,
I don't know what that accent or impression was, but I don't know.
I popped it all over my bedroom.
Valium.
If it, Well, no, because Valium's the trade name of whoever makes that particular
Diazepam.
benzodiazepine. Oh,
Right.
yeah. So you will have had diazepam if you've ever hurt yourself in hospital. They give it to you.
Okay, that makes sense. Is it Prozac as well? Is that
No, that's
no.
serotonin reuptake inhibitor,
Okay.
which is so the benzodiazepines, right? Basically, if you ever get given a benzodiazepine, which is like diazepam or anything like that, it's also, I think it can be used as an epilepsy medication as well, at least in some ways. Anyway, basically what it does is, in your brain, you have essentially two opposing forces. You have the excitatory neurotransmitter, which is called, I've completely forgotten what it's called.
Unusual name.
Glutamate. It's called glutamate.
Yeah.
And then you've got the inhibitory neurotransmitter, which is called GABA.
GABA.
GABA, which is also an interesting music style for anyone who wants to go down that particular path.
What?
And so if you basically, what benzodiazepines do is they increase the effectiveness of GABA, and GABA is inhibitory. It basically just stops your neurons from firing. So it lowers the neuronal excitability of your whole brain. Well, I guess depending on where it gets taken up in like specifically, but
in general, if you were, it would be an overall brain effect, right?
yeah. So your whole neural activity is just depressed. It goes down,
Okay.
and that basically just puts you in. It gets rid of those super high emotions. So it basically would calm emotions. So that would work. Interestingly, lithium.
I was about to mention lithium. Yeah. Because that's a bipolar specific medication, isn't it?
But I think like back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, it was just given to everybody, right?
Yeah.
You would be.
You get a lithium. You get a lithium. Yeah.
And it just sort of like turns you into. It just calms you, but in an unpleasant way, right? You become.
Do we know why? Do we know the mechanism?
Well, it also works by GABA transmission. It basically makes GABA transmission more powerful, so your brain is sort of like muted, but on top of that it has loads of other really interesting effects. Like it basically triggers neural cell proliferation, so you get lots of new neurons growing in different places in your brain, and it's neuroprotective. It does loads of weird shit.
So is there a way to trigger it that we could use to explain the spell calm emotions?
I just wham someone full of Valium. I mean, job done.
But we're talking about Tenebris, right? So her friends, which are this slime mold colony thing. Are we just saying they can produce Valium like out of their ass? Yes, Simon.
That's really good, Emily.
I'm looking at the wiki for Valium, and it's interesting. It actually can be administered in loads of different ways, which I didn't know. Shamini's friends, Tenebris's friends, could basically give it via mouth. You can inject it into muscle, inject it into a vein, use it as a nasal spray, or you can insert it into the rectum.
Yeah.
So depending on what angle they want to go,
right. Well, Shamini isn't here, so we get to pick what Tenebris's friends do.
The butt.
Choose the angle.
The butt.
Up the butt.
No. Okay.
But nasal spray, surely, because I remember
nasal spray. Yeah.
When we did was it Charm Person that we talked about before?
Yeah.
And
that was like a direct.
That was
injection
Infinity
to the
going.
Face, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. That's what you wanted it to be. I
like
wanted it to be a spray.
It's an injection, Simon. It's like
no, it's a spray because you can do it from a distance with Charm Person, so it's a spray.
So with this as well, if it's the slime mold colony producing Valium somehow, then
that's totally true.
You just breathe it in, and suddenly you're like, oh.
But I mean, but also think about it. Like a slime mold, single-celled organism, right? Like they could get right up in your eyeball and just be like, "I make a load of Valium here."
How do they make Valium? Do we know? It's just a
we
chemical
allowed to
of
know?
some form,
I mean, it's
right?
looking at the structure, it's
very
pretty
simple
chemical.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe some of her friends are we? I mean, this is really mean to do without her, but I mean, you could sort of say like some of her friends can produce different effects, different drugs, because she's got this whole like cloud around her all the time, right?
In my head,
would make
it's a
sense.
superorganism, and there's like specialized types of slime mold that exist within the colony.
Right.
And then actually you could tie that in with the character like level progression of as you unlock spells, it's like a new mutated form of the cells has arrived.
So bacteria, right, which is not what these things are, but they can pass DNA between them. They do horizontal gene transfer, which is horizontal evolution. So whenever they kind of evolve, one of them evolves a good piece of DNA, they just pass it to all their mates, and then they can all do it. So it might be a case of like you have different sort of bits of DNA evolving throughout the colony, and they're like, I'll just give it to you, my friends, and now we can do this one specific thing.
It's like bacterial education.
Does that mean that eventually, like, they will
horizontal turns
just
into mental.
could eventually her friends evolve so much that they're like, we don't need you anymore, and then like try and attack Tenebris. Don't do that, Ali. Bad DM. Why did you have that idea?
God, the flames are so appropriate now.
Oh no.
Wait, but there's another way. I've got two more facts. I want to fact you up. I want to fact you real hard. I mean, real good. I mean, whatever you want. I'll fact you in any way. So, like,
Shamini goes for an hour, and this is what
I actually think we've been quite. Ali talked about sexual arousal earlier, and we didn't laugh. We were actually very good.
It was important and good,
yeah.
and righteous.
So maybe it's all Shamini's fault.
And fact.
The secret child of the group.
Yeah.
You know, if you're super worked up, right? The most annoying thing someone could do is be like, just breathe deeply, and you're like, fuck you. But actually, breathing deeply does kind of work, right? If you force yourself to do it. I was
going to say, I do that when I get worked. That's my thing.
But it works.
Yeah.
But they found out, it's like 4 years ago. So 2017, right? So it's like nothing scientific time.
That's
they
5
found
years
out
ago.
why that is. Oh.
We're in the 2022s now. Sorry. Just quickly jumping back to the Valium, because someone in chat says something very cool. Chaotic Brain Person, excellent, perfect name, says also some potato plants apparently can produce Valium.
What?
So Shamini has little potatoes floating around.
Potato plant Valium.
We're quickly Googling just to check,
Everybody
because we
wants
are
to know
always
potato
completely
plant,
accurate on this show.
Occurrence of pharmacologically active benzodiazepines in trace amounts in wheat and potato.
Amazing. So by eating chips,
Brilliant.
you can calm yourself down. That's why chips are great. Just like,
That's
this
science.
explains so much.
Scientifically accurate. Right.
Sorry, sidetrack.
The regular breathing thing, right? Okay, this is awesome. So there were these. It's 2017, right? So it's not 60s psychology. We're not giving people like adrenaline and being like, "Hey, just sit here. I've given you just a drink of water." What they did was this is in mice, right? So I think it's mice. So they were interested in breathing, and what they did is they went to the the pre-Botzinger complex. The pre-Botzinger complex, and that's basically like a little bundle of neurons deep down in the brain stem, which controls breathing. Right. Okay. So if you take it out, you just stop breathing. Not great.
Not bad.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but they were looking into it to just basically work out how it works. And what they found was there's 60 different kinds of neurons, 60 in this tiny, it's just a tiny part of the brain, 60 different kinds of neurons.
Wow.
And each of those kinds of neurons controlled a different kind of breathing pattern.
What?
It's crazy. And so what they were like is right, okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go in and genetically we'll just pick one of those kinds of neurons and we'll just shut it the fuck off, right? And
that's exactly what they said. We're going to shut it the fuck off.
That's in the monograph. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll see what these mice do. Anyway, so they did it, right? And they put the mice in the cage.
They all die.
No, what they were like is like, oh, it's not made a huge amount of difference. This is a bit frustrating. And then they kept doing it. They sort of like, oh, well, we better sort of do it a couple more times. And then they noticed that every time they did it, they put the mouse in the cage. And normally when you put a mouse in a new cage, it just doesn't like it, right? It's just really unhappy. These mice, super calm.
They were super chill.
Because they didn't have the ability to have the physiological response, and so they couldn't have that emotion.
Is
it like the panting?
The paper, but yeah, whatever it was, right? You knocked out the ability to change their breathing rate in that way. They just didn't get upset.
So that's like biological firmware. Like it's a neuron that's like has the ability to control a certain mechanical behavior.
This is just maybe this is infinity. Maybe she's not a robot. Maybe they are actually a creature who just had some stuff, like they evolved to look like a robot, but actually they're not.
There's biology in there.
Yeah, maybe. Oh shit!
Is it
never
law?
considered
Is it
that.
canon? I don't
So
know.
okay, so you're also saying the calm emotion spell could also be something shutting off a neuron.
Imagine you being like, I'm really fucking angry. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then something comes and just goes, and you're like, I can't help but breathe slowly. And it just forces like that.
That's kind of cool. I quite like that.
And it'd be instant as well. You wouldn't have to give someone like a wide, broad acting drug.
How would you deactivate a single neuron?
Could you really?
That's a great. I mean,
specialized dart.
The way that these neurons are even like why we call them different is because they have a slightly different they express our genes slightly differently. So you know, we all have the same genes, but we express some of them and don't express other ones in different cells, which makes cells different, right? It's like reading anyway. So that's what is making those neurons a different kind of neuron. So presumably,
So they just have a slightly different marker. Yeah.
Yeah, if you were to target, so they would have different things on their surface, maybe different things. And so if you were to target those, maybe. Anyway,
That's
so I've got
really
one
cool.
more. That is awesome, isn't it? I got one more. We were talking about mindfulness earlier, right? So mindfulness, the way that they think it works is so that your prefrontal cortex basically can act as a damper on your emotional systems like the amygdala and the insula and the periaqueductal gray, which is another bit of the brain. So they looked at mindfulness versus emotional suppression, right? Which is just where you're like, nope, I refuse to, I'm not going to get worked up, not going to do it. And whereas mindfulness, you just sort of, I don't know, I'm not an expert in it, but you just sort of let it come and you're like,
you
I'm not going to
acknowledge
judge
it.
myself.
It's moment to moment, non-judgmental awareness.
Yeah. So you're like, I am angry,
I'm very
and that's
bad
fine.
at it.
So they looked at the MRI, the fMRI of those two things. And basically what happens is if you do mindfulness, it's one part of your prefrontal cortex, the medial prefrontal cortex, for everyone who wants to know in chit chat, I know you do. That's the bit which lights up. But if you're doing emotional suppression, it's another part of your prefrontal cortex.
Okay.
This is super dope.
That is very,
Right,
very
doing
cool.
the
And we are
switch.
joined, speaking of super dope, we are joined by...
Here she is.
She
We
made
did
it!
it. She's here. She's back.
I've been running across London trying to get to you, trying to reach my wonderful peeps.
You did it. We're
Have
so
I
proud
missed
of you.
the science?
Ali just wrapped up all the science. We now know all your secrets and how the spell works.
Yeah, we've decided everything up the butt. And
Yep, that's not even a joke.
I didn't see it coming, but I'm not surprised.
we've actually been very good. We really have.
Have you?
Yeah.
How many times has chat had to say bonk so far?
Only like twice, actually, I think. Actually it's been quite good.
Well done, Emily and Simon.
We did the intro
Ali as
without
well.
you.
It's not just us.
Yeah. Ali even said sexual arousal at one point, and me and Simon didn't laugh. So
You remembered it.
Yeah. Well, that seems like a good time possibly to go just on a break so we can reset, because currently you guys are in the wrong boxes.
Oh, sorry. Have I messed up? Have I appeared and like, where should
You're in Bates's place, basically.
You go. Can I just sum up? Can I just sum up for
Ali was
for
definitely
Sham's
finishing
benefit?
before this all
Sorry,
happened.
Oh,
sorry,
sorry.
please. I'm so sorry. Please
I'm sorry.
continue.
So Shams, let me just sum up. Okay.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
three ways that your calm emotions spell could work.
Great.
Okay, one, benzodiazepines like Valium, so just drugs,
Up
which
the butt.
Or up the nose.
Or up the nose.
well,
nasal
or
spray.
both up the nose and the butt. It could be up the butt or up the nose and the butt.
Just
It's
general
interesting.
overwhelming of
Amazing.
benzodiazepines.
Yeah, and that just dampens neural activity in general. And the next one is control of your breathing neurons. So you can control specific neurons that change the way that you breathe, like your breathing rate, and that in turn calms you down. And that's been shown in mice, like it just calms them down. And then the third way is if you were to activate, if you were to drive activity in the medial prefrontal cortex, you could achieve a mindful state where you're still angry, but you're not doing anything about it. You're just accepting it. But if you drive activity in the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, which is next door pretty much, you would basically just suppress, like every good British person.
Or
Just
Vulcans.
suppress the rage. Exactly. So, but what's super interesting about that last thing is that the spell read, you attempt to suppress strong emotions. You don't attempt to deal with them. You don't attempt to get rid of them. So maybe
You're just
that's the
making
way
them
to
not
say it.
feel them. It's
Oh,
not.
no.
It's not. Hey, deal with your
There
emotions
should
and
be a
move on from
therapy
this.
spell, shouldn't there? There should
Yeah.
be a, like, you
Just-
help people like accept, acknowledge.
Yeah.
That's true, because there are plenty of spells, like heal wounds apparently is only physical wounds. You cannot heal
We
mental
need
wounds.
more
Oh,
therapy spells.
Cure wounds or healing words, Simon.
Oh, sorry.
We're going to teach you proper D&D terminology eventually.
You knew what I meant.
No, we're not.
We're going to try.
But I think that's the. I mean, I like having options for the
Yeah.
mechanism. That's really, really cool.
That's
I mean,
that
D&D is
breathing
a form
thing
of
is
therapy, really. I personally think. I
People
certainly
use
it.
D&D
Yeah.
for like group therapy. group role play. I think there are some people trying that out in various places.
I think it helps you, like, if you create a character that's like going through something and you're not necessarily going through the exact same thing, but I think it can be really good to like act out like emotions that maybe you don't normally get to.
It's also like a sandbox for emotion, because I've heard of it being used in like prison rehabilitation schemes, and like that's a chance for people who maybe don't emote normally to create a character that then it's like a safe playground to have those emotions in.
Yay, D&D. Yay.
That would be super interesting. We should look into that, actually. That should be another D&D.
That's why I created a character who was feeling emotions for the first time. So I wanted to know what it was like. No, I'm joking.
You can't tell just because our eyebrows don't move very much. She actually does feel the emotion.
There's a whole bit where they laughed at my eyebrows, Shamini.
No.
No, I started it. My eyebrows don't move a lot. Look.
No, they're fine. I'm laughing at your face. They're normal eyebrows. Please do not look.
You can tell they're raised though when I do it. I'm so sorry, podcast. This is so
you're
bad
putting a lot of effort into that minimal amount of movement. You really had to try.
Yeah, that was a lot of calories being expended.
I don't go to the gym. I just lift my eyebrows up and down a few times every day, and I'm like, okay, done it.
Right. Thank you very much, Ali, for that D&D brief.
That was great.
We're going to quickly just do a very brief break where we get set up for the game. We'll make sure people are in the right boxes and everything. And then, if you've not joined us before, we're going to do a very quick rundown of the story thus far and where we found ourselves, which is a very interesting juncture in the story.
We're on a boat.
Stop it. We're going to get DMCA'd. Right, so.
I don't think I'm doing that good impression.
Needs more auto-tune. Right, okay. So because it's auto-tuned, I didn't mean to say that Bates can't sing. I meant because it's auto-tuned. Anyway. So, we'll be back in like a couple of minutes. Go get yourselves a drink and settle in because we're going to play some Dungeons and or Dragons very soon. All right, we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Hello everyone and welcome back. We are about to play some Dungeons and Dragons. So, to briefly remind you who we are playing, I'll go first. I am playing Uriel, who is a dwarf monk. All of the characters are level 3. Uriel uses he, they pronouns and is a reskinned dwarf monk in our universe of sci-fi. They are a cybernetically enhanced human on this path towards increasing mechanization. I'll now throw over to Shamini. Who are you playing?
Oh no. Right, so my character is Tenebris. She, her. So D&D wise, she's a drow sorcerer. And reskinned. I think the party know that she's not from this planet. So that plays into why she sort of has the drow-like appearance. Yeah, I've mentioned that.
I suddenly was like, wait, do we know that? But yes, you have.
Yeah, she's very explicitly like, I'm not from here. What? And as for the sorcerer powers, the party has discovered that there's sort of a strange colony of a cloud of microorganisms that sort of surround her and surround them all, that seem to be somehow sort of conveying these powers, but they don't know how. Emily.
Hello, I play Infinite Sky 6000, who uses she, they pronouns. In D&D terms, she is a wood elf druid. In our game, she is a robot, a druoid, some might say. Who was sent to the planet to terraform it, and now feels emotions, and it's lovely and wonderful, and totally not getting scary at all. It's lovely and happy. She's a ball of sunshine. That leaves one more introduction, I guess.
I forgot to deactivate the fire.
Oh no!
I was going to ask.
Ali is still on fire, and our DM currently surrounded by flames, like he's in hell.
Or the inside of his brain.
I come to you from hell, or the inside of my brain. My name is Ali. I'm the DM, and I think I'm just going to give us a quick recap of the story thus far from the very beginning, just for any new listeners.
So that would be great.
The bare bones of it are right. Our three intrepid heroes turned up in a place called Val, which is a mining colony on the foothills of the Mukinchi Mountains. They didn't know each other when they turned up, but as soon as they arrived at this colony, they were all summoned to the head of this mining colony, to their hut, essentially, and given a mission, a quest, because they were outsiders and that they could discharge this quest, whereas all the miners who were there were not trusted with this. So what they were supposed to do is to find out who was smuggling a particular kind of mineral out of the mine. They made their way to the mine. They managed to get deep down into the underneath the mountain. They found some very old tunnels. They broke through the mine into these really old caverns. They went deeper and deeper and deeper, and they found a huge unearthly sort of wall, right? This incredible crystalline structure deep in the bowels of the earth, surrounded by strange things, and that shed off this kind of strange, colourful light. They did battle there with the supposed smugglers, and then
After they promised to stop smuggling,
Mission accomplished.
we did it.
Success.
Well done, us.
After having made that promise, they then triggered an enormous explosion. From the wall.
After making that promise, they burst into flames.
Yeah, they died. So really,
Also, not exploding the mine wasn't in our contract.
yep,
Yeah.
agreed. We did the
Yes.
right thing, everyone, and we should not feel guilty or bad.
Our intrepid heroes ran, as all good heroes do, and then they eventually made it out of the mountain by an underground river in a sort of strange way, which they hadn't expected, and then they had to sort of trek back through this a huge sort of I want to say like what's the word for when something's out of time? You know, something so ancient that it comes from like a Paleolithic or not Paleolithic, like a Jurassic. It's one of those sort of Jurassic forests, you know, these vast trees, ferns everywhere. Made it through the forest, had a couple of encounters along the way, survived, got back to Val, having completed their quest, only to find out that they were wanted for having destroyed the mine.
Very rude.
It's not
At no point did they
fair.
say to not do that.
Yeah,
And we didn't do that. We didn't.
exactly.
do
It wasn't
that.
us.
No.
Doctrine of double effect might argue, but
Yeah.
So, in order to escape the consequences of their actions,
no, escape the consequences of other
absolutely
people's
not.
actions.
Yeah. We
did what.
if we hadn't have been there, the same thing would have happened.
Yeah, that's a
So
good
therefore,
point.
yeah.
You're saying our actions have no impact on the story. So we are irrelevant. Is that where we've landed?
They wouldn't have promised to stop smuggling before
No,
the wall
they
exploded.
We're Indiana Jones in the first film.
Yeah.
so they stole a shuttle. In fact, the same
We
sort of shuttle.
accidentally-
That
they
we
came
did. We
in-
did. Okay, we did do that.
Look,
No, we
it
did
went-
do that. We did.
We didn't intend. Things
No,
happened.
that one we did do. That one.
Yeah.
I'm
They just went a little
responsibility.
sideways,
It was
but
not a bad
you
thing.
started out. Anyway, so they escaped on the shuttle, and then the shuttle was attacked by. So someone boarded the shuttle
God.
looking for them. They stole their ship, the
That was
double
fair.
steal.
That was fair. They were trying to kill us and everyone on the ship. So I think that one was actually a valid steal.
Justified.
Escaped in this tooth-shaped ship.
Tooth Fairy,
and
use its proper name.
found that they couldn't fly it very well, so kind of went in a random direction and crash landed in this swampy bayou, way
Ding,
south
ding,
of where they were.
We've not encountered a single banjo yet, and I am disappointed.
There'll be one on the boat.
There will be one on the boat somewhere. But what boat?
Search
the
encounter.
boat. Search the
Warp
boat.
boat. Anyway, so now having talked to the person who, or the entity which was chasing them, and released them. So the person who was searching for them on the shuttle that they'd stolen came with them when they escaped through a strange
Accidentally,
mishap.
that was not.
We didn't mean to do that.
But-
Yeah.
And they spared that creature's life, and now set off through the swamps to find the nearest city so that they could make their way to Gunka, which is the main city on this planet, in order to find out more about an artifact they'd uncovered in the mine, and also maybe to think about going to Uriel's home in orbit around Braxiganto. On their journey through the swamps, they've come across a barge floating in one of the many tributaries leading out to the sea. And that is where I will leave it here and just say, roll film, for God's sakes!
We'll roll the intro.
So, where were we? I'll tell you where we were. We were in the swamp, sat aboard a canal boat. Well, it looks like a canal boat to our eyes, but it's really a barge which has been moored against the mangroves which line the side of this river track leading out, you think maybe towards the sea through this swampy ground. You have just been trekking for most of the day through the mangrove swamps. You started off a little bit north, you think, where your ship crash landed and where you've left your would-be assailant. Now, as the last golden rays of light pick their way through the leaves and branches of the mangroves, as you hear the birds start up their evening chorus, you catch a breath. You have just done battle with 2 anime characters
So weird. So
who
good.
seem to appear out of nowhere and play all sorts of strange tricks on you.
I like how you said that, but that is 100% accurate. Like, so that's not even a summary. People that weren't here previously, that is exactly accurate. Also, I hadn't imagined it was a canal boat. Did anyone else? I'd imagined it was more like like the kind of the party
Bigger.
boats that you go to and you'd see in like Sunsexes and Suspicious Parents. Like that kind of
Fuck yeah.
size.
What a show. Oh, anyway. Yes.
Dungeons, Dragons, and suspicious NPCs.
So the way to think about it is it's got quite a shallow draft because it has to go over kind of constantly shifting sands.
That
There's
makes
lots of banks everywhere. So it's quite low down. So it's sort of the same dimensions as a wide canal boat, but it's not as thin as a canal boat because obviously there's a bit more space here.
Oh, there is a name for that kind of ship actually, because they used to go up and down the Severn River, which is like the main thing up into the Midlands from near here. Can't remember what it's called, but there is a specific name for them.
Alright.
That's really nice.
So Uriel, Tenebris, and Infinity. Just tell me what you're doing in the last embers of the dying sun.
So I can't remember if at the end of the last session I stood up or not. But if Tenebris had at any point bothered to stand up, she's now going to unstand up again and just sort of like just lie back, just sodden wet from having come through the river, just on the deck, just sort of like sigh despondently and
Tenebris.
dramatically.
Tenebris, are you okay?
All of the water here is so cold and everything tries to eat you, and why on this planet can I not just, have a nice day? Ever since I quit my last job, everything has been wild. Like, oh, there's a snake, and oh, there's a fish, and a giant millipede. Like, I just want a nice break. I need a holiday from unemployment.
I mean, it's not a competition, but I was literally just turned into a slug.
It was really weird.
I'm really sorry. The planet's awful, isn't it?
I've been saying this ever since we landed.
You hate it. You both hate it.
No, Infinity, it's not. Your planet is lovely.
I
You've
mean,
done
it's
a
clearly
great
not.
job.
You just said how awful it was.
It was
You said
okay.
everything on this planet is awful.
It's just
I
not
have
my
some
style.
suggestions. If you want feedback, I do have a couple of notes here that I can give. But why is it so cold? Why is the water cold? All of the water here is cold.
I didn't think it was as cold
It should be
here.
hot
It was
water.
colder when it was underground. I admit
It's
that.
okay.
But
It's less cold here.
maybe I did a warm bit somewhere else. I don't remember. So
Yeah. Okay.
maybe there's like a lovely desert or something somewhere.
I'm just not a planet side kind of person, okay? So I think
Right.
you've done a fantastic job. You're
you.
perfect. You've never done anything wrong. I'm sure that people who like planets would love this planet.
It is not your fault that the boat turned you into a slug and whatever the boat was doing. That was not you. That was the boat. Bad boat, I think.
I wonder if it was
I
the
don't know what that
boat.
was.
There were those metal fragments that just scared. Can I
Oh,
investigate
yes.
to see what is left over of the anime character?
So
I think I looked and I couldn't find anything.
We did have
Oh,
a
did
look
we do
last
that
time,
last
I
time?
think.
you did have a
Yeah.
look and you couldn't see
We
anything.
failed miserably.
They're tiny, yeah.
Okay, is anyone hurt?
That's a good question.
I got bit by a snake.
They bit you?
Yes, it was when I was a frog, and then I was me, and then
Ooh.
it still hurts a bit. One of my screens is a bit bent. See?
Oh no. What will we do? Can that be repaired?
Oh, it's not that bad. I'm sure it'll get better if I sleep. You know how when computers go into shutdown mode, sometimes their screens repair themselves? That will happen.
We'll turn you off and on again. It will fix everything.
Exactly.
It just takes about 8 hours for you to fully turn off.
4, actually.
Oh, it's 4.
Yeah.
God, you're amazing.
Yeah, I'm fantastic. Thank you. Okay, well, I might just...
safe now? Could we just stay here and not try and wade through any more swamp or go into any more snake-infested rivers and just like have a nice rest?
Before we do anything else, can we please check the boat for anything else that's gonna jump out?
I thought you checked the boat. Okay.
I only just got on here.
Okay.
I was
Oh my
asleep for
god.
most of the time I was on this boat.
I did check the boat. I found these maps in this bag and this vial of stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna check the boat.
I didn't find any people.
What do any of these things do? Are they useful? Does the map say where to go to find?
We did look at the map earlier, just a few minutes ago, really. Some might say,
just a minute ago.
and there were just lots of X's on it. Saying we don't really know what they are, but
I don't know. You did? I don't.
No. I think we did.
Because
okay,
hasn't been on the boat yet. This is the first time she has been on the boat.
At the end.
No,
of the
we
fight,
looked.
Oh,
did we?
Yeah. I am going to go and check under every table and in every cupboard and under the beds, if there are beds, for people who are hiding to jump out. And if no one is here and no one has come back and says, "Oi, get off our boat, you," then I am just going to have a nap on the boat.
I will have a look around as well. I'll help her.
See if there's any nutrient paste as well.
If there is a toaster, look in the toaster. Don't leave any toaster unturned. Or
People live in
stone or-
toasters.
Well, you don't know. I don't know. Okay, I did
okay.
not think that people turn people into slugs, but there we go.
That's valid.
Okay. So are you all investigating?
Thoroughly.
I would like to.
Thoroughly.
So thoroughly.
Thoroughly.
Everyone roll an
I
investigation.
will also be like, wow, Tenebris, I just think you're so good at investigating, and I'll cast guidance on Tenebris.
Is that a D4?
Yeah.
Where are my dice? Oh, there they are.
Where's my
I'm
character
pretty good, though.
Very
I got
good.
a 16.
11. I am not good at investigating. Turns out.
Should have guided myself.
Yeah, you really should have.
Starting as we mean to go on, I got a 5.
It's an everything, Uriel. Uriel, you're definitely still a bit shell-shocked from the whole
I was a slug.
experience.
Cut me some slack.
Yeah, and things still seem to have quite a kind of sluggy cast to them. Like, you're sort of... You're seeing quite a lot of edible leaf matter around that you wouldn't have noticed before. And Tenebris, you're shivering and cold. You do notice... You don't see anything. Neither of you see any... evidence of anyone else there. Infinity, you look a little closer. What you do see are signs that the boat has been lived in, and recently. You see a pair of slippers just underneath the table where you found the map. You notice that the tea on that table is still
I found
warm.
that before, didn't I? Yeah, okay.
But you don't sense any other living things still aboard this vessel.
I don't think anyone's here now, but
Where did you check? Did you check everywhere?
I think so.
Did you I don't suppose you happened to find any nutrient paste whilst you were looking around? It's just that we haven't eaten very much the past couple of days.
Or mushrooms?
I thought we had some mushrooms earlier today.
Yeah, but do we have
was
actually
ages
proper
ago.
food like nutrient paste? I'm just
Mushrooms
really got
are
a hankering.
I don't think I did. Did I?
You did not see any nutrient paste, but there is some food.
Oh, right. There's this.
There's a little bit of salted meat and 3 eggs. They don't look like they're chicken's eggs. They're a little bit smaller, some other kind of bird. And you see just over the cooker, so there's a little galley stove, and on top of that is the kettle, which has been boiling, and is still hot to touch. And behind it, a little bread bin, and inside of that, you see half a slice of brown bread, quite small.
Should we be eating other people's food?
Wait, the people who live here, they must have been here, eating and all that. That wasn't those little people who turned you into a slug, was it? They were very small to be
I think
making
they
giant
would-
cups of tea.
I feel like they were just projections or something. They had the same quality as my screens.
Yeah, so they probably don't eat, right?
Oh, but you know what? Hang on. I'm so silly. I do have Goodberry prepared, so I will cast Goodberry and I think it's 10 good berries will come out of my palm suddenly.
Have we had these before?
I gave them to you before, but I don't think you ate them because I gave them to you as like,
Oh no!
if you go down,
Emergency.
or someone goes down, you can give
Feed
them. So yeah, so if here they should fill you right up.
Are they
What does
tasty?
that look like?
We've described it before, so it's like this little hatch opens and these berries just sort of they're like a tiny seed appears and they just suddenly, like almost a bud of a berry, and it just suddenly very quickly, probably a little cloud of like hormones and gas spread over them, and they just suddenly very quickly develop. And I imagine they look like big blueberries, but they're slightly more purpley than a blueberry. And I'll go, here you go. And they do have enough nourishment to sustain a creature for 1 day. And also I'll have one because then I get a hit point back. Hooray! So if you're down any hit points.
Are they tasty, Infinity?
I like them, but I don't know whether my taste is the same as yours.
Uriel's gonna not reluctantly, cautiously have one. Let me just roll to see how he finds it.
Nice.
I don't think you should get to roll for that. Absolutely.
Well, no, because I don't know. I have an idea in my head, but I wanted to see chance-wise. Uriel really likes that.
Of course he did. Infinity made it.
So,
How
I could get used to it.
how does that make you feel, Uriel?
Well, I mean, it's not exactly surprising, you know. Obviously, you're wonderful and everything. It's the first time I've had anything quite like that. Don't really go for, you know, unusual food that's non-paste. So, yeah, you're winning me over. I got to say, with this other.
You can have another one if you would like.
Oh, go on.
I want another one too. It's good.
Okay, you'll be very full after you eat 2 because you're basically eating 2 days worth of meals.
We've barely eaten anything this entire campaign.
I'm going to eat 2, so
I
can.
Tenebris has that thing where you keep eting because it takes time for your body to recognize that you're full, and then you've eaten more, and especially when it's just a berry, and then you're just like,
oh,
why have I done this?
That was
And
me
you wouldn't
at
be
the wedding
getting
I
any
went
of
to
the-
this weekend.
You wouldn't be getting any of the signals because, like, when your stomach stretches, it sends signals to
Yeah.
your brain being like, "Hey, stop eating now." But because it's only a berry,
Oh, so then I wouldn't feel full, would I?
well, maybe you would. Maybe the berry expands when it hits stomach.
Oh no! Why would that? No! That's
I don't know.
terrible.
Maybe good. Let's put good berry on a list for a D&D brief.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Why do you feel full? That'd be a fun
Yeah.
one, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You
Okay.
all take this moment to eat something properly, something you haven't done, as you say, for quite a few days now. And it's strange. It's like having checked out the boat, having made sure that there's no one here, and in the relative calm of the rocking of this vessel, you allow yourselves to feel tired for the first time in days. You let the adrenaline just drain out of you, and you feel that deep weariness.
We've been through quite a bit. I don't know about you two, but I could really go for an actual proper sleep and not, you know, feel like
Just-
we're running for our lives at all
I
times.
think. Well, you say that, but I think the people who own this boat, they might come back. They were here recently. Although we did steal their little boat as well.
Well, we
so-
brought that back.
Oh,
You
no.
brought that over back to here.
Yes, but it was
No,
probably
it
left in a
wasn't.
place where they needed it to get back
Oh
to the
no!
boat, wasn't it?
Yes, we have to go take the boat back. Otherwise, they're going to be there on the other bank yelling
Right.
at us.
But then
Oh,
they'll yell
no.
at us and we'll wake up. The outcome is exactly the same. It's just,
Then they'll be
we're not-
mad, and then they won't give us a lift.
Okay, why don't... Well, Tenebris, me and you both only sleep for half the length of time that Uriel does. So why don't one of us always be on the deck ready to greet the people when they return? Why
'Cause
don't I
then-
take the boat over and
Take
then
the boat
come back?
over, and then come back.
And then we can take it in turns to
That
sleep.
would be great. If you could
Okay,
just
I'll
put
do
the
that.
boat back where it was, so no one
Yes.
is mad at us.
Is your
'Cause
belt still attached to the tree and here?
I
Uriel?
left it there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll untie the belt, and then as I come back over,
Bring it
I'll bring the
back.
belt back.
That's
And
great.
I'll use it to steady me as I walk
That's
through.
amazing.
That's clever. Okay, great.
so
We'll do
clever.
that. DM.
Please, yeah, go ahead and roll
I
a
love
dexterity check for boat handling.
Don't lose
Boat
my belt.
handling. Dexterity check for boat handling. Oh, it's good. It's good. 18.
Oh, you skim across. Absolutely no problems there. Instantly remember how
I'm
to do
on
it.
a
You
boat.
pull up and you cut the engine just in time to glide onto the silty surface of the mud, and you come to rest almost exactly where you took the boat in the first place.
I look back to see if Tenebris or Uriel saw my very good boat skills. Assume they didn't, and go, oh, okay, no, that's fine. And then I'll untie the rope from the tree, the belt from the tree, and I will tie it to myself. So I'll turn it into an infinity belt for a little bit, and then just start walking back through the water, using the belt to steady me.
We'll say that you don't need to roll for that because you've got it's tied to you. You will eventually make it back over, and you've actually killed the only large territorial predator in the area. So.
Ecologically devastating.
As she goes back towards the boat, she'll sort of in the water. I don't know if you'll let me like test the temperature. Does it seem really cold?
It doesn't. You've experienced cold water when you fell into the mountain river deep underground. That was ice cold. You knew true cold. This is quite warm. It's tepid almost.
Okay.
Old.
Oh,
Whilst,
even this is too cold. Okay.
Whilst this is happening,
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And then just sort of quite sadly, and I think she'll just sort of sit on the side of the boat and be like, Tenebris, you can go to sleep first.
well, I was going to say, whilst you were going over, I feel like Yuri would take the opportunity to talk to Tenebris and just be like, so, but there, you got your friends to try and talk to my brain, and
I know, and then you didn't even, and then you just freaked out because everyone always freaks out, and then anytime I tell everyone, oh, by the way, I can do this thing, and then I speak to them in their head, they're scared of me, and they think I'm horrible, and they think oh, it's a terrible monster lady, run away from her.
no, I don't think you're a monster. I wanted to know, can you teach me how to quiet all the emotions down? Because I feel like
That's
that'd be.
what I was trying to do. That's why
yeah,
I
but
said,
you didn't like really announce it. It was just I was going through a lot. Okay.
I said, Uriel, let me in your brain.
Yeah, that's not the most reassuring
Okay.
thing to be told whilst everything else was going on. So
Okay.
I just knowing that that's what you were trying to do and you were trying to calm me down.
Yeah.
How can I do that? Because I don't want all of the emotions to cloud me. I don't want them.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy. You like change the way your brain is, like, and then and then it will all be like, oh, this bit and like, and then it will work for you.
Right. So I just gotta think about it really hard, and then the emotions go away.
No, you don't just, well, no, you have to like.
Is this a thing that only you can do with your friends?
I don't know. This is a good question, but I can do it for you with my friends in your brain. I could not do it without them. I think. I don't know. I've not been without them for such a long time, but I think it is a them thing. I can show you.
Before we go to sleep,
Yeah.
could you do that calming thing?
Yeah, if you let me in your brain, which is perfectly safe, I think. No, it is perfectly safe.
You're not
And I
filling me
won't
with
hurt you
confidence.
at all. Then I can make it. I can like, oh, and then you will be much less scared or less. You won't see things if you're seeing things. And then maybe once you feel how it is, when your brain is like, then you'll be like, oh, I'll just put my brain like that, and then you'll be able to do it yourself.
Yeah, if you could you do that, and then hopefully I can actually get some proper sleep and not see the yeah.
Why do you need to have no emotion to sleep?
Well, just if you're sleeping and you're thinking about stuff and you get all really emotional.
Oh
and
yeah, okay.
It's just I don't want that. I want to
Yeah.
just.
I think I get that. Okay, so don't freak out.
Uh-huh.
I'm so nice that you're like no one's ever like wanted me to do anything like this before.
Hey, this is what I've always wanted. This really.
Like me. Oh, okay. This is great.
Do I need to like tense or what?
If you like.
Right. I was gonna very like rigidly like.
Okay. Sure. Whatever will make you happy. Okay.
Right.
Tenebris.
Do whatever she says.
Tenebris, like, grinning quite a lot. is going to start these sort of big like hand movements that she often does, but it's like now that we're not like in the midst of like battle and things, they're like quite deliberately like big and dramatic, just to kind of make the point of like. And I'm going to cast Calm Emotions.
Yeah.
2nd level spell.
I really hope nothing attacks.
Yeah,
us.
me too. Oh, no. On Uriel, who can choose to
He's not resisting. He's
fail the saving throw, essentially. And the I wonder if I can shoot. I wonder if any of. Well, I mean, technically, it does very boring and mechanical things.
Debrief we had earlier.
I said I was relaxed.
It's
Up the butt.
My butt is relaxed.
It does not involve
Calm my
butts.
emotions.
You
In
also
this
don't
instance.
have your belt at the moment, so
Easy access. I'm going to probably, so there are a few effects that you can give. There's one that you can suppress any effect causing a target to be frightened. DM, would you allow me to sort of stretch that to be slightly more like the spell's name, and rather than just mechanically prevent a frightened condition, to kind of suppress emotions?
Yeah, for sure.
Great. I mean, yeah, I do that. That happens. Like you can probably feel it. It probably feels quite noticeably sharp. Like it doesn't necessarily feel like something outside is doing it. But I think, sometimes when you have a mood and you're like, this isn't like logical. There's no logical reason why I'm sort of feeling like this. So it's that kind of like awareness of it.
Uriel, it's almost as though the coolness which you sometimes feel on the edge of your thoughts from the machine consciousness in your arm, it rises like a water level up through your head till it reaches the top of your skull, cooling everything, and you feel calm.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm back now. Hello, everyone. How are we all doing?
I was I was actually just about to. I just feel really tired, Infinity.
Oh, okay. You should go to sleep.
Did you want to tell me any more about how great it is, or anything?
It's what I always hoped. It's like all of the human noise is gone. It's just feels logical. There's a simplicity. This is wonderful. Thank you for this.
Infinity will just walk out the room as he says all of that.
I guess she wants to take the first watch then.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go sleep.
What are the sleeping arrangements?
Are there any
on the
beds
boat?
or
yeah.
sofas or cushions?
In the forecabin, where there's a little door separating it from the rest of the main inside of the vessel, there is a small bed. It's like a 1.5 person bed, basically, in the shape of a little triangle into the bow of the boat. There's also space on the sofas, so there are couches on either side of the main cabin, which could be slept on.
Uriel is absolutely not a big comfy bed kind of person. Uriel is a sleep on the sofa kind of friend. So yeah, I'll take one of these couches. That's fine for me.
Okay. Denebris is gonna like run, jump.
Big fluffy bed.
So good. Uriel, you allow the cool to take over, and you drift away into blackness. Tenebris, you allow your thoughts to settle, and a calm, the trance to take over you.
Then I'm gonna like actually quickly get out of the bed and look at the bed and the river clothes, and then like take all my clothes off and try and like, I don't know, like wipe myself on a carpet to be as clean as possible before getting back into someone else's bed. I shouldn't have jumped on their sheets are dirty now. They're gonna be mad.
Soaked.
There's a damp patch in the center of the
Oh
bed.
no. Oh, it'll dry by the morning. They won't notice as long as no one comes back. I'm gonna
Well, it depends
yeah.
how silty is the river. Is it like
Oh,
also just kind of
God.
like a muddy?
I'm wiping
incredibly
myself down,
silty.
you know, like just I'm like right clean as possible. Then I'm gonna.
You wrap yourself up in the duvet, the remaining
so nice.
dry bits around you as you sit down, and now it's dark, and there's just the faintest of starlight coming down through the cabin, the porthole at the top of the cabin. Infinity, where are you?
She'll just go onto the deck, and is there like any like moss and lichen and stuff on the boat?
On the boat, no. There is a little bit of weed just below the waterline on the hull.
Yeah, okay. She'll go and sit on the waterline and just sort of start just making little flowers bloom and go away, and just.
Right. So the waterline is maybe 3 feet down from the edge of the boat. So if you think that
Yeah, she'll
the
get off.
deck. All right. So she's standing knee
She'll
deep
sit.
in the.
Oh, I see what you mean. She'll go to the shore. She'll go sit on the shore and just sort of look at the boat, but sit like on the ground in the nature, and
Right.
just start playing with Druidcraft, basically. Just like quite sadly.
You walk out through the mud and the silt. Your feet catching in the grey siltiness. You find an exposed root, a large mangrove buttressing root, sticking out slightly into the channel. And you perch on it, and on the bark itself, you can see that there are lichens growing, even orchids in the soil, trapped in the what do you call those? The bark, bark has sort of rivulets going through it.
Yeah, I don't know, the
ridges,
rivets.
the ridges
Yeah,
in
I
the
know what
bark.
you mean. Yeah. You said
Some
there's
soil.
orchids. If there are any just that are like a bud, I'll just sort of do Druidcraft to make the bud like actually turn into a flower.
The buds swell, and the white petals of the flowers start to creep out of the green home where they've been before. And the darkness falls. But it's barely darkness. You look out into the cool night stillness, and it's a cloudless night. And what you see is the starlight, huge numbers of stars throwing these blank, sharp shadows through the trees. And on the surface of the river channel itself, it's almost brightly lit with the light coming down from the heavens. You hear a bird call, breaking the silence. You see the barge rock gently in the river current. The sky is strewn with pinpricks of light. And as you look up, you see one of them tracking a path across the blackness of the void.
Okay, one last go. I'll try and make contact with it.
You reach out, you talk, and you hear. And then you feel it. Not a vibration, not even a physical sensation exactly, something more powerful, like a pulse of energy, something that seems to ripple up from the ground all around you, through your slender frame and out into the air. And then, even more strangely, you hear it. Silence.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
It's like an unearthly stillness. You don't hear the animals, you can't almost even hear the sound of the river. The swamp around you seems frozen, like as though you were looking at a black and white photo almost. And then above you, you realize that the night sky is suddenly filled with falling stars, like pinpricks of light dropping down from the heavens and evaporating in the darkness. And then, slowly, you hear the noises of the swamp return, like a juddering, deep in-breath. The sounds of the animals, the movement of the wind in the leaves. You see the sinuous shadows of branches on the water moving almost. You even make out the chittering of tiny nocturnal animals. But mice, you hear frogs, but with incredible clarity. You can feel the wake of the fish moving past your feet in the centimeters of water around the roots. You smell the sap and the rot of this place. And then you hear a voice. It's made up of all the sounds of the forest interweaving in your mind. Do you hear us, little one?
Yes. Are you Terracorp?
You get a feeling of great age, but mixed with youth, the sense of thousands of different heartbeats. No. Change comes. Roots crack. Danger.
Danger for who?
As you see it, an image flashes in front of your eyes. A flaming object hurtling out of the sky, smashing into the ground in front of you. Burning embers of fire, pieces of charred wood. You must help, or this world will end.
Yes, of course. Yes, I'll help you. What do I have to do?
As this is happening, you look out over the mud flats, and it seems like the finger-like woody roots that are protruding out of the silt, they're craning themselves towards you. You can hear animals scurrying over the barks of the trees all around where the barge is moored. You can hear hundreds and hundreds of tiny feet. Time is short. Find the Watchers. Another image comes to your mind. You see floating in blackness what looks like a golden jellyfish hanging in space. A shining gold outer dome, protecting an inner core. And then you have a sense of recognition. This is one of the satellites. You've been trying to reach one of the satellites that monitors the natural processes of the planet.
Yes.
Go find the answers.
Yes.
Home crumbles.
Who are you?
We are many. We are the forest.
I'm Infinite Sky 6000, serial number 869197226PMGB1530ML. It's lovely to meet you.
And you, little sprout.
Never been called a little before, actually. Or a sprout. What should I call you?
There is no need. For now, we go.
Oh, okay. It was very nice speaking to you. Thank you for answering.
You see now leaves falling from the trees around you, floating in the light breeze and falling onto the surface of the water, spinning slightly as though autumn had come just early.
I'll pick a leaf up.
It's a deep, dark shade of red, maroon, with tendrils of orange through it, as though the tree that shed this had used up a huge amount of energy and had ejected its toxins through this leaf. And with that, you become aware of light infusing the dawn sky. Hours have passed.
Oh.
You've been sat here.
Oh, I should wake Tenebris. I'll go back to the boat.
You find Tenebris
Okay, good.
still asleep.
Thank God. Okay, good. Tenebris. Tenebris. Morning. I think you might have had a bit of a longer sleep. I got distracted, so.
This bed is really comfy.
I've never slept in a bed ever. So.
You should try it. It bounces. It's cozy.
Right.
But at the end, we have to put it back like we didn't, because some people might get
Yes,
freaked out if
I
you
didn't
slept
see
in their
anyone
bed.
Arrive.
Oh, yeah, you didn't see
that's
anyone.
good.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll go
okay,
look out.
I might just go sleep on the deck because I don't really need a bed. So.
But there is a bed here. Look.
No, I know. I want to watch the sunrise.
Okay. Are you good? Are you
Yes,
happy?
I'm fine.
Good, happy?
I'm fine.
Yay! Okay, good. I was like, okay, absolutely me.
Okay. And Infinity will do her standard like, and but she'll go backwards, and so her head's looking up rather than faceplant.
Tenebris.
Infinity.
You're left alone in with the very first tendrils of pink light coming from the morning sun that's starting to just creep into the sky. You have another 4 hours of your watch.
Okay, I'm going to look out really carefully in case anyone comes to get their boat back and is really mad at us. And I'm ready. Like, anyone appears on the opposite bank, I'm going to be like, oh no, the boat is there. Anyone appears and like gets in the boat, I'm going to look non-threatening. I'm like planning through one, like the wave, like, Oh, you're back. Funny story. There was a snake. I plan on really convincing.
Rehearsing. Yeah.
It's fine.
It's like when you order at a fast food place and you practice the order before you give it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Or any social interaction, in fact. That, yeah.
Roll a perception check to see if there's anyone to talk to.
I practiced so hard. Oh no. Okay. Perception. In the night, I like perception. 13.
You scan the bank, and as the very first rays of morning light break through the trees, you start to make out more of the plants and of the mud flats, even some early morning animals, waders, and even a large lizard, it looks like, in the undergrowth, but no people.
I'm going to glare angrily at that sun, and then I'm going to look at all the animals that are emerging and be like, you all would be better off without it. No. Shake my fist angrily at the sun.
Should have done the other watch, really, shouldn't we? We should put Tenebris in the dark.
Yes.
You've recused yourself from the discussion.
That's true.
So you're watching the bank, you're rehearsing your lines. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, I'm good.
Uriel, as you're sleeping, in the coolness of your machine dreams, there is something that disturbs you. And you feel it as a sort of interference in the normally placid ones and zeros that stream through your mind. But you don't understand what it is. In fact, roll me an insight check.
Coming right up. Oh, I'm rolling like shit today.
Yay.
That is a... Oh, well, I forgot you had good insight. That's an 11.
Oh.
You're not conscious, so this isn't like a thought that you have. It's more of a feeling that whatever has just happened doesn't feel normal. It doesn't feel human.
Good.
And that's it. In Infinity,
Oh, good. More dreams. Good.
it's not a calm night for you. You smell in your dreams the sharp scent of the jungle. You open your eyes to see emerald leaves circling a glade, one that you've seen before in your dreams. The insects buzz and hum around you in the muggy air. You can feel the tickling sensation of a line of ants crossing your feet, and the air feels hot and oppressive, and building up inside you that same sense of dread you felt before.
Can I do anything in the dream?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I don't know what I want to do. I've never done anything in the dream before. I think she will try and turn her emotions off and not feel it, and just sort of stand there and be like, well, no one else wants emotions, so okay, here we go. And she'll just try and like re-engage the emotional suppressor and just not feel what's happening in the dream.
Roll a wisdom saving throw.
Shite.
You're so wrong.
That was bad. 9.
You concentrate, plant your feet, and try to keep a grip on this feeling that's rising up inside you, but you can't hold on to it. It's bubbling and building up.
We've never really discussed if she can cry, but I think she just sort of falls to the ground and does whatever her version of crying is. I don't imagine that Infinity sheds tears.
It would make sense if she had lacrimal glands, because you want to clear off your optic.
how it works, doesn't it? I
Okay.
suppose.
You know, you're keeping your eyes clear of shit, but like quite.
But her eyes aren't doing.
But the whole point of humans crying is that it's a visible thing, right? Like from an evolutionary perspective, it's a way of showcasing intense emotion, and so it intensifies a bond. Whereas Infinity wouldn't have need for that, I guess.
Okay.
Unless there are tight-knit social groups of terraforming robots going around.
You don't know.
It may.
Yeah, go on, Ali.
It may be that you've seen people cry, like you are aware of how it's done, and you want to try and express it.
I think she'll sort of just fall to her knees, close her eyes and cry, and just try and ignore everything not ignore what she's feeling, but just absolutely let it sort of overwhelm her.
And what you're doing is, if anybody were to look at it, it's like a kind of strange facsimile of what crying should look like. Like you're kind of making the shapes, but there's no sound, there's nothing happening with your eyes. You're just hunched up in this glade. And as you just surrender to this overwhelming feeling of dread, you feel a vibration in the earth. You hear the birds scatter from the trees. You hear the cries of monkeys moving around the treetops, screaming warning signals, and then you hear it. The dull roar, louder and louder. The leaves shake. The ground around you starts to buck and ripple, and you hear the crack of bark snapping as the noise becomes unbearable. You smell hot metal, and you feel an ionizing energy strip yours, and you wake up. It's quiet on the boat, except for the sound of Uriel snoring.
It just wasn't real. I didn't even really realise it was dreams. She'll just sort of mutter to herself for a bit. And
How does she sleep in the bed? What position does Infinity...
she doesn't sleep in the bed. She slept on
You're on
the
the deck.
planking, but up with her face pointing upwards.
Oh,
Would I hear the muttering?
No.
How
Who's
loud is
there?
muttering?
What's happening?
Oh,
I see you. Oh, it's you.
Hi.
Okay. I thought you
Hello.
were someone who was
it's me.
coming on back and being like, "What is going on my belt?" But it's
No,
just you.
just me.
Why aren't you asleep?
Hmm?
Why aren't you asleep?
Oh, I was asleep. I'm awake now.
Oh, okay.
Everything okay?
Yeah, no one came.
I think I had a bad dream.
But you're a robot.
Right.
Do you have that programmed in that you have bad dreams?
I mean, I didn't know I had emotions. Well, I knew I had emotions, but they weren't
yeah.
working. So maybe it's...
That's true.
Are dreams emotions?
No.
It felt awful.
Oh no.
Very bad.
Like a nightmare.
Yes.
Yeah, that like happens to
I think we should go to
human
space.
people. You okay? Sure.
I need to. We should do that.
What?
Uriel wants to go to his home, and we should.
Martin's Bane.
Martin's Bane, right? And you should get a job there, and we should go to space.
Okay.
Right, so let's do that. I'll go wake up Uriel, and she'll just sort of run straight in and go, Uriel, we're waking up now.
You
Come on, we're going to space.
You just interrupted an amazing dream. Oh, I didn't dream of anything.
Oh, yeah, well, that must be nice. Are you ready? We're going to space.
Right now? Oh, wait,
Well, no, I don't
have you
know.
unlocked your stellar abilities?
no,
Hold on,
no.
let me hold on.
No, it's fine. I haven't. No, Uriel. This is. She'll tap him on the head. No, it's. I haven't yet, but I just think we should. You want to get home, so we should do that
Okay, that sounds logical to me.
quickly, soon, as quickly as possible. Really.
Okay. Right. First things first. Where is my belt?
Oh, yes, I did bring it in, but you were sort of already falling asleep. Here.
Thank you. This will be lost for 10 minutes. Right.
Well, probably. But it's very useful. Maybe we should all get belts.
It would share the load quite a bit. I think we could rappel down like a 300-foot cliff.
Uriel, I understand now why you want to be a machine.
Well, I mean, I thought you would have understood all along. Really, I mean, it's look at you, you're great, right?
Well, no, maybe I was.
Gonna put a hand on her shoulder, the mechanical hand.
Oh,
on the shoulder. You are great.
Thank you. I thought it was fun having emotions, but I guess it's not.
They're more trouble than they're worth.
Right.
Right. So, space.
Space. Yes,
Great
space.
decision.
Right, Tenebris.
Oh yeah, hi.
Right.
How are we going to get to space? There was that. We're near Lansdowne Port.
Right.
Oh no, you have to go to Gonka and get a ship, and then there are ships going to all sorts of places.
Well, maybe if we go to Lansdowne Port, then they'll know how we can get to Gunka.
There may be a ship in Lansdowne Port. I mean, look, Gunka is the
Or a
highest
shuttle.
probability of success, but every time we take a measurement, we may well find that there is a ship.
Sure. Okay. Well, let's
also,
do
I have
that.
this special thingy where we were supposed to show the Red Runners and be like, "Look, we
yes.
are from
Well,
Sunday," and
I
can't
just
remember why. Were we
think
supposed to
that-
give them something?
Yes,
they
we're
probably all
supposed
think
to.
we're dead now, so really, maybe we should just keep it and we should go to space.
What was it that we were supposed to give them? Remind me,
Check
someone.
through my notes.
Something important we had to deliver.
Wasn't it the artifact? The
We were
necklace.
supposed
No,
to...
the necklace is a symbol to show that it's us.
Yes.
So that
What's
we're
the
trustworthy.
artifact? Oh, no, we had we took the report.
The disc.
From the disc. That was it. Yeah, the
We were
log.
looking for
Data.
Kea Leon in
The
Gunka.
comms log. The comms
Yes.
log.
Yes.
Okay. I mean,
Let's just get.
We're
let's just.
not very useful to us. I don't get what people. are
I
talking
don't want
each
to do
other
that
on the
anymore.
chats. Okay. Oh, okay.
I think no matter what we end up doing, the first step is to get to Lansdowne Port, because we're not going
I
to do
think-
anything here.
The first step is to get out of this, horrible swamp. This swamp. It's
Right.
fine, Infinity. It's a fine swamp. But,
It's horrible. It's fine.
It's
Thank
not.
you. Right. On that map, was Lansdowne Port on that map that you found?
I think
Oh, well, no, but I know where it is because I saw it on when we were in the big ship. When we stole the big ship, I looked at the big map of the area, and then we stole the little ship, and I know we landed quite near it. So I think
No, but I'm
we were
thinking-
going towards.
It's in
I'm
the
thinking
direction
in
of the
terms-
river, right?
I'm thinking in
I think
terms
we
of
follow the river?
practically getting
Yes.
there. There's lots of channels around here. Maybe there's going to be a quick way to get there that is not
Maybe we should
obvious.
take this boat.
I would not be against. I mean, it would be, the third ship in 2 days that we've stolen. I'd say that.
Fourth. I think we should include the little one, even though we
We
gave
put
it
that back.
Mm,
That's borrowing, you said.
Yeah, we returned it.
Did
We
I?
didn't steal it.
Did I say that? Okay, yeah,
did,
sure,
yes.
sure, borrowing.
Except
Maybe
maybe
we
we
should-
should take the small boat back, because we might need it if we take the big boat.
Why don't we take the small boat to Lansdowne Port and leave them the big boat?
Taking the small boat seems less bad. Like smaller theft is
Okay, well,
less
let's do that.
theft.
It's borrowing.
The smaller thing that you steal.
Also,
The
I'm getting
more
quite
legal.
good at sailing it, actually. You didn't see yesterday,
Oh,
but I did quite well.
Yeah, I think we should take the small boat.
Okay.
Okay,
Is there
let's do
anything that we need from the big boat that we think they might not necessarily treat as mission critical that we could take with us?
I really like this bag. I don't know what it is about this bag.
You didn't
But-
show us. What is this thing?
Oh, yes, let me show you. I'll show you them. Look how weird it is inside.
It is a very comforting color.
What's in it?
Yeah. It's black inside. You just can't see anything.
Can I put my hand in
Excellent levels of
and try and
darkness.
see if there's anything in the bag?
You put your hand in, and it goes in deeper than you would have expected.
On the inside.
Wait a minute.
Infinity doesn't know how it works. Emily does. Okay, right. I just go, wow, maybe I can't even. She's going to just put it over her head and see if she can see anything in it or if anything. But no, wait, first she'll turn it upside down and just sort of shake it and see if anything falls out.
You shake it, and you hear a rattling. and then a pile of junk, basically, like metal gubbins, like things with sort of aerials sort of sticking out of them, like sort of T-bar shaped bits of metal, some bits of sort of plastic kind of stuff that you don't really know what it is, a load of wiring, some copper gubbins. It all just onto the floor.
Great. Well,
Sweet
we've left
metal.
all the stuff that was in it. Well, if we leave all of that and we'll just take the bag, because this seems great.
Can Uriel look through the metal?
Yeah, roll an investigation check.
That's a oh, actually, what is that modifier? I thought I knew it. That's a strong 6.
You're a little bit overwhelmed. It's basically up to your knees, right? It's sort of filling this cabin. So you sort of try and piece through it, and you find what looks like it might have been a good starting point for a prosthetic, but it's rusted and gone to seed. And it seems like the atmosphere here is really not done too well for these bits of parts. You do find a card, like a monetary card, which you think might have some coin on it. And when you tap it to your... we've not actually gone through how you would actually tell what money
we met
is,
a dealer who had the NFC point,
The chips.
but we don't have them, I think.
No, you don't have it yet. So you tap it to your arm, trying to make it tell you what it has on it, but you can't tell.
I'll pocket that. Okay, so that does not make any sense. There is more stuff here on the ground. Like, the volume is bigger than the volume of the bag.
Yes, it seems very useful. I think we should keep it.
Oh, useful is
That
one way
would
of putting it.
be stealing.
Right.
Yeah. Like, you can't just go to someone's house and when they're not there and say, oh, I would like to keep this. Like,
Karen, I've got a sneaking suspicion that the things that turned me into a slug and attacked us, I think they may have attacked the people that owned the boat. I don't think they owned the boat.
oh no!
I assumed they were like a warning system.
No! Oh my gosh!
Well, look,
Oh,
I'm just
no.
going off with the fact
Oh,
that
that's
they
a
attacked
really-
us, and I think
Makes a lot of sense now that you say this.
they probably just attacked the people that owned the boat. I don't think they're coming back.
Oh, we have to tell someone.
Oh
We
my
have to-
goodness. Can we see if there
Oh,
are any
no.
like dead slugs or frogs?
Oh no, he didn't check for animals!
Oh no!
These 2 slugs are just like, our stuff! They're
Wait,
taking
there's still
our
slugs.
stuff!
No, because they would have. Oh, I don't know. But can we just see if
We
there is
don't
any
know.
sign of a fight or death
Yeah.
or?
Yeah, or slugs.
Well, if
Slug
anything,
trails.
when you first entered the boat and you first did your look around, you didn't see any sign of a fight.
Right.
It just looked as though someone had just been there and wasn't there anymore.
But yeah, now I'm like, wow, there's definitely been a fight on the boat because we had a big fight on the boat. Okay. No, I think they just made. Well, there was no signs of a struggle, but maybe you're right. Maybe.
I think we can pretty safely conclude that
Wait,
they're not coming
No,
back.
sorry, I've just remembered something because the boat was on the other side of the river with footprints going away from it.
No, they're definitely
yeah.
not coming back.
So I think maybe they are, but maybe we should take the little boat. I think we should take the little boat.
Or maybe they ran away because their boat was taken over by cartoons.
Oh, maybe.
They had to flee.
Oh, that's a good. Can Infinity run the probabilities of the scenarios and see which one she agrees with?
Can I just roll to be really
Wow.
fucking smart a second? Let me just cook these books.
Please.
Yeah.
Sure, roll a d20.
Just roll a d20, no intelligence.
Yeah,
or
11,
anything.
11 or more, and you believe that they ran away, and 10 or
17.
more, you think they're coming back. So
They ran away.
they ran away, they ain't coming back, you think?
I think we should keep it. They definitely aren't coming back. It doesn't make statistical sense.
I feel like if they were coming back, they probably would have come back by now. I think they're goners.
If some people who used to live here got murdered in the swamp by tiny cartoons or ran away and died in the swamp, I don't want it to be sailing back into the town where they probably went all the time in their boat. Okay, that's gonna look bad.
Well, then we parked the boat just a little bit outside of the town, and then we walked the last little bit, and we say, we just walked all the way through that horrible,
We can moor
horrible
it up
swamp.
again, and it'll just if they do come back, then they'll find it because it would just be a bit further down the river.
Maybe it would be better to take the big boat because if they come back and we've taken the little boat, they cannot get across the river through the big boat.
That would be horrible. Okay, let's take the big boat.
Right.
God damn it! Why don't myself into this?
Can we
It would
work
be
out how
the
to
most
make
moral thing to do to steal this
Infinity
boat. You're
is-
right.
Infinity's
somebody
working out
please
how
do a
to
cut
make the big boat.
of Shamini saying we should take the small boat, and then, like, just 10 minutes later, okay, yeah, let's take the big boat, actually. I think that's the most moral thing to do.
Taken me this long to debate the boat.
Yeah.
And that's your
boat
arc.
This is why the
This,
ancient Greeks
this
never got
episode should
anything
be the boat
done.
problem.
This one.
Okay.
Yet another boat problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boat problem part 2.
Right, has anybody... I know that you've... Infinity, you piloted the little one.
I did.
Are the controls the same on this? Can you pilot this?
Oh, I'm sure they're pretty similar. I will look at the controls.
So you're going to do an investigation for basically how you would pilot this boat.
Sure.
Can I help in some way? Like,
Yeah, you can.
Is that
you do it with advantage? Yeah.
advantage? Okay. That's fine. I will not use that one. I will use the 12, so 16.
You look through the boat and you see that there are some key things which are going to be a part of the way that you would navigate this boat. The first is the tiller, which is you're going to use to steer. It seems like it's got a key to turn the engine on, and also there's a VHF radio, right? So something that you could use to communicate with other people.
We don't need to be using that.
Communication?
Okay. Yeah, okay. I'll just start. I'll turn the engine on. You should unmoor it from the bank. Uriel.
How is it attached to the bank?
Have you? So when you try and
that's
turn the
true.
engine on, you hear.
Oh.
And it goes dead.
Oh, maybe we should just take the small one.
God damn it. What? Did you break it?
I don't think so. What's wrong with it? Can I tell?
The small
feel-
one is on the other side of the,
No,
the river.
No, the big one. What's wrong with the big one?
The boat that isn't working. What's wrong with it?
With that investigation check, you can see that where there is a fuel tank, it's empty.
Oh.
That's why they left the boat. They ran out of fuel. But why would they run out of fuel? The cartoon stole the fuel.
What?
And also,
I
why
think
would
we're
they
getting
just...
into conspiracy theories.
Why would they just go across one little bit of river where there's
And then-
nothing on the other
Oh,
side?
but maybe they needed to be on the other side.
Maybe there is a petrol station hidden in the swamp.
I think
in
one way or another
mangroves.
they're on the other side now.
I don't
So-
think we are.
No, I think they are.
I don't think they are either. But well, there's fuel in the other boat. In the
Are you
small
saying
boat,
we
so
siphon
could-
the fuel from the small boat to the big boat?
I'm saying we go back over, get the small boat, bring the small boat back, siphon the fuel, then take the small boat back over.
Wait, I'm going to need a diagram here. Slow down.
Because the fox and the chicken, they can't be left alone together.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Look, we've taken we've got all the stuff that we think is going to be useful. They're not going to need it anymore. Let's go over to the. Wait, how are we going to get to the small boat?
Oh, we'll have to walk.
No, hang on. You got over here just fine. Why
You
don't you
are
go
having
over to the
this
small...
discussion. You hear something.
Oh no.
Thank God.
Yeah, it's for the best.
Ding ding
The
ding ding.
sound
Ding ding ding.
of music
This is all I wanted.
drifting down the river.
Comet!
And then you hear the of a diesel engine.
Sounds like in Crash Bandicoot, the mask that when you hit it, it would go booga booga. No? Okay.
Oh, I think I know the sound effect you mean, actually. Yeah.
Booga booga.
And then you see it coming round the bend in the river towards you. It's a dumpy vessel, like a barge, right? Looks a little bit like the one that you've just been in. It's a bit longer, a little bit wider, but it looks in much better nick. The hull's painted green. It's clearly been painted, and someone's worked to keep it green. The top deck's wooden, and it's got a light blue upper cabin. The one thing that does strike you is it seems much squatter. So, whereas the cabin you're in is quite tall, this one is much lower down.
Okay.
And it looks scrupulously clean. And there's a name on the bow as it draws slowly closer. The Bullfrog.
I love this so much.
And
Shaz
then
was
you see at the back of the boat on the tiller a very short woman, maybe 2.5 feet tall. She's wearing blue dungarees over a dark t-shirt, and on the t-shirt you can see just a picture of what looks like a faded image of just a cat jumping, and her hair's pulled back very sort of neatly against her forehead, and she's got a broad nose, and just perched on the end of it are reading glasses, and the sound of the guitar
I would die for her.
coming from inside the vessel somewhere. As the boat pulls up alongside you. Huh. Y'all friends are Abel?
We are saved!
Hello. No, I'm Infinite Sky 6000, serial number 869197226 PMGB1530ML, and we need a lift.
We got stranded in the swamp, and then we had to wade through the water, and then there was a snake, and then we found this boat, but there is no one here, and we haven't seen anyone else apart from you, and we don't even, we might die in the swamp if you don't rescue us.
Also, hi, my name's Uriel.
And I'm Nebulous, thank
They
you.
don't have serial numbers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Y'all don't say. So how'd y'all come across this boat then?
Oh, we found it and we wanted to find people to help us. But there was no one on it.
We literally just walked up on it and there was no one here. Well, there kind of were, but they were cartoons.
They were cartoons, yes.
Did y'all kill Abel?
No, who's Abel?
Is it Abel's boat? Is Abel
Is
like
Abel a cartoon
tea?
character?
We
Yeah,
have-
is Abel very small and cute? Or is Abel like the kind of person who would sleep in a big bed, drink tea, eat bread?
He certainly don't drink no tea. Well, maybe in his old age. It's been a while since I saw him. You know, people tend to get lost around here. Can't keep track of it.
Is this Abel's boat? Because there was tea here, so
Someone was drinking tea.
someone killed Abel and made tea, but then why would he have tea in his boat?
What's your
You
name?
know what?
Anyway, yeah, sorry.
Do you have a serial number?
Can't say I do, my dear, but if it'll help you some, my name's Chandra.
Chan. I was in Chandra, sir.
With a ch or a j?
That's with a J.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Anyway, look, we got a bit of a tight schedule. We're moving on to Lansdowne Port here, and it looks like y'all folks are in a spot of bother. Now,
Yes.
I might could help you some, but I got to know that y'all ain't gonna do the dirty on me.
Oh, no, we wouldn't do that.
Well,
I am very nice and gentle.
We could absolutely like what we did not kill. I realize this looks a little bit strange, but we honestly found this boat and it was empty. We are so happy to see another human. Like, honestly, I know it looks weird. Trust me, it's we didn't kill this old man.
roll
don't
a
know.
persuasion check.
Oh, no.
Oh shit! Wait for it. I know.
Come on. Come on.
Persuasion. I have 7 charisma. I know what I'm doing.
7 charisma.
That's a 2.
Does that make it a 1 total?
No. So I rolled a 4.
Oh, okay.
She looks at you.
Fuck. Never let Uriel talk to people. Or Infinity, to be fair.
You could have cut me off at any time.
You were doing well.
And you can see that she doesn't believe necessarily the story that you've told her, but she does seem to think that you're not murderers.
Good.
Because she relaxes a little, and now you see that alongside the back of the tiller, so the tiller has a sort of straight stick which she's using to pilot it, you see that there's a long, thin rifle that's been aimed at you this entire time. Well, let's say we find out more about each other on the way to Lansdowne Port. Before y'all get on, there's some expenses that we have of running this thing. Just hold me 1 second now. Tobias! Tobias! And then you hear some sort of clanking, like clanking downstairs the boat. And then you hear... What is it, Chandra? And you see another very short figure. This time, the voice is actually slightly muffled. Oh, Chandra, I'm kind of busy right now, but what is it going to help you with? And it's coming from behind a welder's mask. This figure is face covered with a welding mask, wearing a really thick, protective lime coat, standing in the gangway looking up. Oh, you found some friends, have you?
Hello.
How can I help your folk?
Greetings.
Hell, Tobias, how much you say passage from here to Lansdowne Port would be? Well, given the running costs of the boat and given how much we spending on fuel and what we did, I would see call it even 50 gold.
Do we?
We do, because we
I have
those gems, right? We sold them.
Yeah, I
don't have any of
that. I have that. I have some of that.
Is 10 our treasurer? I can't.
Is it on a?
I definitely don't have it.
I've got 401 gold written in my inventory.
Okay, great.
Check my bookkeeping.
Yeah, that's definitely from the gems, I think. Yeah.
Oh, apparently I have 200 gold pick, but I think I kept my gems.
Oh yeah, I gave to
no, I
Nebris
didn't.
my
Yes,
share
I
of
have double the gems.
Yeah.
This makes sense. Yes,
No,
that's
I
why
have 200 gold
400
pieces
gold.
on my.
Yeah.
I have a metal
Right.
crypto wallet.
Can you just remind me? The gems money was on a new.
They
card.
gave us cards.
Right, yeah, it wasn't on.
Yeah.
It's not on my existing card. Okay. I will pay you 50 gold, please, for 3 transport to where are we going?
Lansdowne Port.
To Lansdowne Port, please.
Oh, mighty glad to hear that. And tell you what, the ferry leaving now, so all aboard.
Oh, thank you.
And the man, so that was a woman who you've been talking to, and the man who's just looked up from wearing the welding mask. He lifts the welding mask up above his face, and you can see he's got kind of ash sort of soot marks, like basically underneath his eyes, and a couple of kind of dirty thumbprints where he's tried to wipe it away. A big beaming smile on his face and a kind of like scratchy beard. He goes, oh, fantastic! If you just like to, and then he rolls up his sleeve, and you can see that on his arm there's 6 different wristwatches, just all the way up his arm. Number 5. Just tap it to number 5. That'll be swell.
Tap, tappity tap.
Contactless.
Oh, thanking you. And if you don't need me anymore, my dear, I'll be back to work.
Nice
You
to
hear him
meet you.
disappear back into the hull of the boat. As you board, you hear another set of footprints, much lighter now. Who's this? Who's this? What you see is a tiny teenager, about 2 foot tall, even smaller. You see they're wearing skinny jeans, and they're actually just kind of quite cool, like they've got a kind of gossamer, like this sort of leather stud jacket, but the leather itself is a kind of gossamer that sort of you can see through it a little bit, and underneath it
cool.
you can see this kind of tight black t-shirt that they're wearing, and it's even got a sorry, it's not a t-shirt, it's got a collar, so it's like a kind of collar t-shirt, and the collar button's done up all the way to the top.
That is cool.
She's got lots of eye makeup on.
Yes.
And like too much, like teenager levels of eye makeup, like someone who's just discovered eye makeup.
Yep.
The coolest.
I remember those times.
And she gives you this enormous smile and goes, hey strangers, what are you doing? You're going to travel with us? I tell you what, hey, look, so nice to meet you. Do you want anything? Can I get you a tea or anything like that?
What do you have? Is this your boat? It's great. Can you show us around? Hi.
Do you have nutrient paste type 2?
I don't know. Ma? Nah, honey. Okay, no, I'm really sorry. We don't have nutrient base, but
I can make more of the berries, Uriel.
You should try. Would you like Infinity? You should offer berry.
Oh,
They're
would
so
you all
good.
like a berry? And I'll hold out my hand and create more berries.
First contact. Hello, do you like berries?
You know, it's been a while since I saw someone do that. As this is happening,
You've
The
seen someone
boats.
do that before?
no, never someone like you, sugar. I mean, perhaps you're one of a kind, but I've certainly seen technology to create such a.
I don't think I'm one of a kind, actually. I think I'm one of quite a lot.
I guess we're just leaving the boat behind, by the way. It's just...
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've
I mean,
taken
it's fine,
we've
it's
taken
fine.
the bag and the maps and the
There was a
Potion.
vial as well.
Uriel has
Vial.
the chip. Yeah.
You all have that with you. So you are now all stood on the deck of this boat. So the boat's it's just as wide as a normal boat would be, but it's quite squat. And in fact, looking down the gangway, you can see inside and it looks very sort of well turned out, very clean. There's sort of beautiful wood surfaces and everything. But the ceiling is very low. And in fact, you worry that although you might be able to get in, how you would get out would be harder.
uses of Infinity's wild shape. Make yourself small enough to leave.
Hello, do you like berries? Watch this! And she just becomes like a spider. Jesus Christ!
Oh, it's very small in there. I don't quite know if I would fit.
How long is it going to take to get to Lansdowne Port? Or is this the kind of thing that's multiple days?
In answer to you, so before Chandra looks at you, Uriel, but in answer to Infinity, you just hear it coming from downstairs where the teenager has disappeared to. You hear, "Don't worry, I got it. I'll get you everything you need. It was tea, right? I'm afraid we ain't got no nutrient paste.
I've never had tea, so I would like to try some.
I'll get it all sorted.
Can I just have hot water? Do you have hot water?
Sure. We got everything you need." And then there's just a pause, and then you see the little figure comes out again, and just sort of almost shamefaced, but kind of just pushes past you. Go, excuse me, and then goes up to the woman Chandra at the back on the tiller. And goes, Ma, how do you make tea? And
Do we hear
see-
that?
yeah, she's not whispering it very
Oh,
soft.
I don't need tea. I'd never had it before, so I just thought I'd try it. But you don't have to make me something special.
Has the by the way, has the music stopped since the teenager has come up top?
It has. The music you can hear is spirit music that you might hear anywhere in the bayou.
Ding, 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 ding.
It's non-diegetic.
But yes, the music in the story has stopped. Yeah.
Right. Sorry. Yes, so because I asked about the length of the journey off the back of Infinity's question because I thought it might roll into one, but yeah.
Chandra turns to you after just saying she says to the girl, just turn the stove on and put a pot to boil, and you know what? Why don't you ask your father? I'm sure he can help you. And then turns to you and says, well, this time in the morning, I'd say we should be reaching the port about 8 hours. So come the evening time, we should be there.
Oh, okay, good. It just, if it was a couple of days, it was looking at the height of the ceiling, and it's I'm sure it's very lovely, but it's just a bit small for myself and Infinity. I just dropped my pen.
Are we holding a pen, Uriel?
I was taking notes. I was hoping to get the names of all of these people.
I've got 2 of them.
Oh, sweetie, y'all ain't around from here, are you?
No.
No.
I'm from another
Well,
planet.
I'm actually from up there.
I mean,
Martin's
technically,
Range.
so am I. So
that's mighty interesting. So, what, y'all from extraterrestrials?
I just
guess
come from a
so,
big
I never thought of
spaceship.
that.
I don't know if that counts.
I mean,
I guess it does.
I'm more of a kind of a void person, really.
I would have probably been here before anyone else was on this planet, though. So I think it's more my planet than anyone else's.
Infinity probably made
Get off
everything.
my planet.
Get off my
Oh,
land.
we don't know that. No, because well, yes, I know I didn't do a very good job, so I'm very sorry if you think the water's too cold. I'll try better if I get a chance to do it again. So
Chandra-
do you like it here?
Jandra reaches out and puts an arm on basically on your hip, Infinity. That's as high as she can reach. Oh, don't you worry about that, sweetie. This is a mighty fine world. We born and bred, live here our whole generation. I tell you, there's nowhere I'd rather be.
You really mean that?
When you get to hearing the sounds of the trees and the squawks of the animals and living with the land, there ain't anywhere else I could possibly be.
Infinity picks her up and hugs her.
Hey, well, you put me down, I'm paladin here.
Sorry. That's one of the nicest things anyone's ever said to me.
Sweetie, it's nice to hear you say that.
If you don't mind me asking, what were you doing out here? You know, what brought you out here?
Well, you see, if you look yonder, back up there, that channel, you follow its winding paths all the way up towards where the forest takes root again, and ain't this damn swamp, y'all reach the little town of Pigeon Toe. That's where we hail from. But tell you the truth, don't spend much time there.
Why not?
Well, make your living out here is not but a few ways you can do it. Look around you. Y'all see any land you could farm? Y'all see anything you could hunt?
Not really, no.
There's nothing of value.
Have you ever tried growing mushrooms? They might like the damp.
You know what, sweetie? I never have. Y'all grow mushrooms where you're from?
You need the right species, obviously, for crops. There are multiple different species that you can use, and depending on the precise conditions, it might, suit, and then you can sell them for money. You still need space, you still need.
As you're having this conversation, you hearing downstairs the kind of the clack and tinkle of crockery, and you hear kind of the sound of, just let me do this. No, I'm going to do it, Dad, I'm going to do it. A little bit of to and fro there, and then out from the gangway comes the young girl carrying 3 cups of tea and 1 cup of cold water. I wasn't 100% sure if y'all were looking for tea or hot water, ma'am, but I brought you both, so I hope that will suffice. I'm so rude. I'm terribly sorry. I'm not introduced myself.
I was about to ask.
I've got my pen ready. Please do.
Yeah.
My name, and you can see here she takes a beat, straightens herself up a little, and then adopts a sort of shoulders pulled back stance, and then thinks you can see it flashing across her head. She thinks about it again, and then sort of just leans casually against the side of the boat, and then goes back to the first time. Constance Flatwater, and who are you fine folk?
Oh, hello. I'm Infinite Sky 6000, serial number 869197226 PMGB 1530ML.
Oh, hi, I'm Uriel.
You can call me Infinity.
And I'm Tenebris. Hello, it's so great to meet you, Constance.
Oh, it truly is. You're so different. Where did y'all hail from?
Mostly Infinity is weird. I'm very normal, actually.
Yes, I'm very weird.
You see her looking at you, Tenebris. You're so pretty. If you don't mind my saying so.
Me?
Huh?
Oh, Uriel!
Thanks. I wish I looked like you. You look really cool. Can you teach me to make my eyes like you?
I like your jacket.
You know what? I absolutely can. Just give me 1 second. She disappears downstairs. As that's happening, Jandra's just leaning on the tiller. Was there anything that you were asking her? I forgot before.
I don't
came Constance.
remember.
As this is happening, you're drifting driving through the meandering channels of these mangrove swamps, and the river is getting wider, and you're now in the center, and the sort of muddy water is all around you, and it's almost getting, the banks are starting to recede a little into the distance, and Uriel, you can see that the sky in front of you is that shade of white that you noticed when you were first here. You take a beat, just listening to the sounds of the water. So, y'all headed to the port. Mind if I ask why?
We would like to go to space.
We look for fossils.
We're archaeologists.
We sort of ended up here by accident.
Confusing people.
You know, we came here for a thing, and it turns out we're in the wrong place.
I don't think we need to tell these two. These people, they seem nice. We just want to go to space. Uriel wants to go home.
Yeah. Can I see Martin's Bane in the sky?
Roll a perception check, and as you're doing that, Constance comes back up, and Tenebris, she opens up what's quite a small and very well used makeup box, and she sort of positions the mirror, and she sits down on the side. So now she's about still 2 feet up, but just perched on the edge of this the side of the decking. She goes, "You want to come and have a look at this, Tenebris? Was that right? Yeah. You'll come and have a look at this. I'll show you. Do you mind?" And she reaches out and touches your goggles and tries to ease them off your face.
Yeah, these are, I got these for here because your sun is so bright. So like sometimes like I don't really see, so I got like sun goggles to see better with.
Wow, they're so cute. They're if I just, and then she takes out a little brush and she starts just tracing a little bit of black on your eyelids. If y'all just stay still. As that's going on,
that was a natural one. Rolling hot today.
A what?
For my perception check to see if I can see my home.
Oh yeah.
Uriel,
I pointed
you
at
look
the
up
fucking
into
moon.
the sky.
Like, no.
But you look straight up and into the sun. That's just, you just look up. And
trying to explain with like my eyes rubbing and like, yeah, so I'll come from up there, and so we're trying to get back to trying to get back to Martin's Bane. That's the name of my my home.
And why go to the port?
Well, we were hoping to either get some kind of shuttle from there, if there is one, or if not, work out how to get to Gunka, where we figured that we could probably get a shuttle back.
Y'all thinking of heading to Gunka now?
If we have to.
And you can see an expression just change in her face. It's gone from being just relaxed and in her element, really, to a spark of interest with you. Y'all haven't heard?
About what?
Y'all folks really, y'all really off the grid, ain't you? Well, they do say something's happened. Anyway, maybe it's best we show you. I don't know if I could do it justice myself. Tobias? Oh, yeah, Chancellor. How can I help you, my dear? You can hear the voice coming from down below decks. Tobias, do y'all think you can show these folk the announcement? The one this morning from Gunka, from the Alliance people?
Oh no.
Yeah, absolutely, Chancellor. Just give me 1 second. I tell you what, you see, I wasn't really maybe not right now. I'm sort of in the middle of things. Kane, and then There's a pause. Can! And then from the other end of the boat, you hear, "Whoa! Whoa! Can you can't help me out here, please?" All right, give me. And then you hear, and you see another teenager, gangly, wearing these big, thick glasses, and they've got this baggy jeans on, t-shirt. They don't seem to really care what they've put on, and then you can see on their neck the signs of a visible tattoo, like a circuit board tattoo, reaching up the side of their neck, and just on the underside of their jaw, one or two what look like plug sockets, like very sort of like jacks. What do you want? You just show these folks the announcement from today. Will you show these announcements? Oh, will you show these folks the announcement, Kane? Will you just come and do us a favor for once? I'm busy. Yeah, I'm busy.
If there's an announcement, we'd like to see it. Hi, by the way.
Hello, yes, please. I am Tenebris.
Hello.
Please help us. We have been stranded in a swamp. It was very traumatic. A snake tried to eat us.
And then before that, we
Infinite
were in the
Sky
mountains.
6000. I've said my serial number a lot today, so I won't tell you. You can ask.
It's a good number if you want to know.
It's quite good.
She can tell.
The boy looks up. This teenager looks up and squints up into the light coming in through the hatchway into the downstairs cabin, and then pushes up his really chunky glasses up his face and squints some more at you, Uriel, and then, y'all have a replacements?
Replacements for what components?
Your arm, Uriel.
Oh. No, this one's mine. You can't have it.
Oh, you mind if I ain't never seen one of those before. Is that a model BX7 ZM?
Oh, it's like the Euro's face like lights up. Like, yeah, so originally it was a BX7. But what I did was make a couple of modifications. So if you look here...
Infinity turns to Tenebris and goes, I think he is the one I should have said my serial number to.
Oh, wait,
Say it now.
Amanda, I'd like to take this down. And he sort of toddles back off into the boat, and then he comes back and he's brought a kind of dictaphone, what looks like, but it's sort of been janked up to what looks like a screen as well, and a little sort of camera. So I built this myself. We just take it from the salvage, but it's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry, sir, but please tell me more.
Yeah, so it's a VX7, but then what I did was to swap out the lower sections.
Kane, will you just show these fine people the announcement, please? Yeah, Kane, we just,
Mom,
we ain't got all day here. You see Kane, the boy, he says, okay. Well, give me 1 second. And then he goes back downstairs, comes back, and he's brought what looks like a little pad, sort of like a sort of metal disc. And he plugs it into one of the sockets in his jawline, and you see him concentrate, and you see his eyes start to flicker around different parts of his visual field, but he's just looking out into over the river. And then he goes, yeah, I mean the announcement today from the intercessor. That's the one, darling. Will you just bring it up? I said, he goes, oh yeah, I got it, Mom, I got it. I'm sorry. He looks at you. I'm sorry, sir, for the quality. We don't get too many good parts from around here, but I done the best I could. Obviously, it ain't much to look at, but I do believe it'll do the job just fine.
I'm sure there's enough bit rate. Don't worry.
And you look at the surface of this disc, and you see a holographic image shimmer in front of it. And what you see in that image is a scene of like a podium, as though somewhere where you might address a crowd, but the scene is looking at the podium. Behind the podium, there stands a tall man. You've got a soft, kind of long face, a dark brown skin, and it's difficult to see the colors under this bright sunlight with this flickering hologram, but it seems like his eyes are a very bright green, and they're wide, and you can see that he's wearing a plain white military-style uniform, almost all white, except for 3 black bars on the lapel. So thick black bars. Sorry, not on the lapel, above the pocket. So where you would hang medals, for example. And he's slightly hunched, leaning over this lectern. And behind him, you can see other people, all well-dressed, standing, looking out as though looking at an audience. You can't see what the audience or anything like that. You just see these people picked out in this hologram. You hear a cough. It's tinny in the speakers coming from this disc, but it's unmistakably the sound of the voice of this man standing at the podium. At 2:38 this morning, a signal was detected from an unidentified source. This signal interfered with the navigation equipment of craft in the air and in close orbit of the planet. He turns slightly to the side, coughs again. The consequences are grave. This is a most serious matter. Security here and in the capital is raised to gamma level. And in the background of this, again, it's difficult to hear because you've got the sound of the engine, you've got the rushing of the water around you, but just under his voice, it's almost as though there's a ripple of noise when he says that gamma level. We will uncover what has happened here, and any guilty party will be brought to swift justice. Then he steps back a little bit, straightens up, and holds up his hand. Live long. Stay strong. Be free. And then the image shivers and fades.
Ooh, the fuck.
But before it does, one last thing. Tenebris, you've been looking.
Oh no! Oh no!
You have been looking at this tableau.
Yeah,
The people in the background.
At the people in the background, and you notice someone, a face that you hadn't imagined you would ever see again. You see a woman, statuesque, with what we would recognize as Black African heritage. Her hair is sculpted into a high, swooping curve, and she wears a deep purple gown that falls down in a soft arc that obscures her figure. It's the sort of clothing, you might choose to both remain obscure, but also signal to anyone who sees you that you are a person of power.
Maybe we shouldn't go to Gunka.
What?
We shouldn't go there.
Well, I mean, if their security is high, but how will we get
They
to...
have gamma level.
How
So
high is
How
gamma
will we
level?
get-
Are we starting from Alpha or are
Probably-
we starting from Omega?
I don't know.
starting
But it
from
sounded
way-
bad,
It
right?
sounds very bad, and we should not go to there. It looks like
But
a terrible
well,
place.
I mean, we don't need to go to Gunka. We just need to get to space.
or we could go. I don't know. Just like we could live in Downtown Port. Maybe they have jobs there. Maybe
I'm
it was
gonna-
a really lovely place.
I would like to very much to go to space now.
gonna
Or
ask
Pigeon
Kane.
Toe. We could live in Pigeon Toe.
I want to ask
Maybe.
Kane. Wait, she said there was a signal at 2:38. What was there? Did you pick anything up here?
I was asleep, but come to mention it, there were a couple of items that I have where they don't appear to be functioning correctly now.
I'm gonna lean to these folks and be like, what were we doing anything at 2:38? We were asleep, right?
I was
Was
asleep.
What you-
that when I was on watch, Ali?
Totally was. Of course.
What you see.
Why are you
um,
asking this?
I don't,
What you
I don't
say-
know.
You
know
I don't
exactly
need
when it
to
was.
That's a
ask.
You
chance.
don't.
That's a
Come
chance.
when Tenebris leans over is really like amazingly aggressive black eye. Like basically like all the way up to the eyebrow is black.
That's lovely, Tenebris.
And it comes in like a really long cat sort of swoop all the way
Yeah,
to the side like that.
It would also help you with the bright sun, right? It would limit reflections off of some of the geometry. That's why certain species have black like.
That's why pirates do
yeah,
that.
exactly.
It does, it works.
It
If you
helps
blacken
you-
your
it
eye
helps you
pits,
in
you
bright
stop.
sunlight.
Okay, I can buy that. I've never heard that
It's true.
before, but
Yeah,
now
it's
you've
true.
said that, it makes sense. So, but not when your eyes are like fully
Does
open.
it? I have got this like eyeliner here, so I did, but I just didn't want to commit to using all of my eyeliner and then
Next
having
time,
to
you
take
gotta
it
do
off.
it.
But like, I'm gonna do it this level. We're gonna do like slightly
Yeah.
big, guys. You just have to imagine the huge rest of it, and also it look awesome.
Is Infinity pretty confident that 2:38 was around the time she was having a chat?
That would scan, yes.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Of course it would.
Cool.
It wasn't us this time, right? Because it's just that the last few times things have been us. I just want to double check.
No, we were all just asleep.
Well, you two were asleep.
And you were on watch, so it was the night. Nothing happened.
Well, I had I spoke to a satellite.
Oh,
I
you
finally-
got through.
Yes. Well, maybe it wasn't a satellite. I don't know fully, but it would add up to the time of they sort of had. They said they were the voice of the forest, so.
You spoke to a
Oh.
forest.
I spoke to a forest, I think, and
Oh,
well,
Infinity. No,
yes.
no. You know, you're saying about the dreams. You know, you had bad dream. That's not a real
Right.
thing.
well, no, this happened before I was asleep.
Oh,
And-
that could
Well,
be real.
the
then.
stars that they were falling out of the sky. I saw what I thought was a satellite, so I spoke to it, and then I think it spoke back to me, and then all the stars were falling out of the sky, and they told me that that change was coming, and the roots were cracking, and danger, and
Okay,
that
maybe
the
you-
planet was in trouble, and I had to find the golden jellyfish in the sky, and so we have to go to space and find the golden jellyfish.
I'm gonna.
Maybe we discuss this later.
Hmm?
Maybe we.
I wasn't going to tell you.
I'm not.
I'm going to ask Kane. Hang on. They said about the consequences were terrible. What did they mean? What happened?
I'm sorry. The consequences of the
The
for the-
signal thing.
yeah. Do you not know? There's been
We-
satellites have been falling out the sky. There's been craft. Planes have gone down. It's awful. It's an awful mess out there. And then you hear at that same time you hear Janja go, "You mind your language, son. You don't take nothing in vain on this boat."
Which bit was Which bit was rude?
think you
It's
said
an
god
awful
awful.
mess. Oh God awful. Okay, sorry. Just so I don't upset you, Chandra. No, god awful.
I think we should leave the planet as soon as possible.
That seems drastic. That seems like a really extreme. Like, oh no, I kind of had like a freaky moment. I would like to leave this entire planet. Like, it seems like an overreaction.
Isn't that kind of what you were doing when you ran away?
No. No, it was not, because that was merely an employment decision that I made based on available employment.
Right, well, technically this is my employment, looking after the planet, so...
Wait, you're saying that in order to protect the planet, you've got to leave it?
Weirdly, yes.
Okay, fine. We're going to go to space anyway. This is
I mean,
still
you
the plan.
two
This is all
don't
fine.
have to come.
I'm
I
going
should
to
probably
space.
do it on my own.
I am absolutely going to space, and I'm going with you.
I'm coming to live in Martin's Bane with both of you so that we can all live happily ever after and be normal. That's
I
the
don't-
plan.
Okay, let's pump the brakes on that. But
don't
I am
understand.
coming with you, Infinity.
Right.
I will also be there.
And Tenebris will also be there.
As you're
Okay.
having this conversation, you see the channel curving out, and in front of you, you see an expanse of water, broad blue turquoise and calm, stretching to a faded line on the horizon. The breeze blows cool now on your cheeks, and the sounds of the marsh and the swamp have been left behind. The sea spreads out before you like ruffled silk, and you hear the faint from some sort of wheeling bird above you. In the sea water, where the clear turquoise of the sea meets the river, you see the alluvial mud creating tendrils of rich, dark silt water mixing with the clean of the seawater. Chandra leans forward and goes, "Yeah, we are a good part of the way there now. Y'all see it?" And she points out along the coastline, which you can now see, stretching away, and in the distance you can see a black spot, tiny little bit of smoke rising above it. That's where we're headed. Not so long to go now.
Great. No one was saying anything. I think we were waiting for you to end it there, Ali, but I'm not sure.
I was very much waiting for Ali to end. Yeah.
Were you about to end it there? You just-
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, so, we could end it there, but I also feel like there's a little bit more that we could do. It just
I mean,
depends
that
if you
feels like a
guys-
natural break,
That felt
considering
like
how
a
late
very
it is.
ending
You're so
paragraph. You were
poetic,
saying.
Ali. You're so poetic.
We were like, oh, and that is where we'll end it. You just sort of stared at us, and we were like, oh, wait.
Nuts. Okay, and that is where we'll end it.
That's what we
Yeah.
thought.
That's what we were waiting. That's what I thought. I think that's the first time that's ever happened. That all of us have just gone silent. Apologies, podcast. That must be awful for a second.
That silence has been cut down, hopefully.
Nah.
Nah, let's be real.
Probably not.
Oh, painful thing. It's like taking the earbuds out, checking the phone.
Thing is, now I have to leave it in. Now we've said that.
Yeah,
I
now we've
actually
talked
do
about
have
it,
to keep
yeah.
it in. Yeah.
Yep, congratulations, you played yourself.
You played yourself.
So there's a bit to talk about.
Was
that was
it
so much
Infinity,
happened.
or was it the other the thing Infinity was speaking to?
it came from the earth, but then
If it was the voice of the
Why?
trees, was it? Did I interrupt all the fucking things and kill people?
no,
No.
God,
No,
Let's go with no.
no.
That was so much good shit. That
That was whoa.
Oh!
Never seeing someone. My God. Oh.
We're still in the swamp, and yet we seem to have advanced the plot. Like all of this plot has happened, just kind of
It's-
else.
We
We're
opened
all
the
train
the
has
jellyfish
arrived.
Now the plot
We're still in
train
the
has
swamp.
arrived.
Like we haven't made it anywhere. Things are happening to us.
When the boat didn't start, I was like, we're never leaving ever.
Maybe we should have another 15 minutes of conversation about how to drive boats.
Yeah.
I love
What do we do?
these NPCs. The flat was it
I
flat
would-
folk?
They are.
Was that their surname?
The best
Die for them.
people I've ever met in my life.
I am a sucker for a Southern American
They
accent
are
anyway.
all
So like,
incredible.
y'all. Oh,
Constant.
This is my new best friend.
Flatwater. Flatwater's their name.
Flatwater.
Flatwater.
That's what I didn't write down. Oh my
I love them.
God, I love them, and I would.
I
die
love them
for
so much.
They're all
They
going to
like
die. They are
They are-
all
that-
going to die.
No.
I'm calling it now.
There was a sudden moment where I was having a conversation with the really enthusiastic young teenage girl, and I did have just this sudden like, Ali's going to kill her. Like, just in the middle of it.
He's
Like,
brought us nice NPCs to kill them.
It really happened quite
Thing
suddenly.
is,
and then I
if he
just-
actually
I'm not
has
that
done
guy.
that, he can't do it now because
Yeah.
we've said it.
It's true, it's true. We've saved them.
We've saved their lives.
Ooh, there was a lot that happened today.
A lot happened.
right.
That was great.
We should very briefly say what came up that we might like to talk about in the next episode in the DnDebrief.
Good berries, I thought was a good one.
That's the only one
And
I
the
got
being
to
full.
note down.
Is there ever any way
being
you could
full.
justify the bottomless sack?
I think
Which
that's
is
a
the bag of
physics one that I
holding.
might have to try and tackle at some point.
Yeah, next
Still,
time it's
that would be
Simon, we'll make
awesome, yeah.
Simon do that one.
Yeah.
It's like the TARDIS, right? Physics of
La
the
bag
TARDIS.
of la holding. Let's go.
I think it's me next time, and I think
It
I
is.
still got to do the cute people because I was late today and I couldn't do it.
Oh, so yes, we didn't make you
Oh
do
yeah,
that.
the anime people.
Yeah. A little,
Oh yeah, let's do the anime people.
Yeah.
Because good berries will come up again. For
Oh, wasn't
sure,
it? Yeah, it was
so.
cuteness. The science of cuteness. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not,
yeah.
not the science of tiny anime people. I felt that was too specific.
Why?
1 inch man.
If you can find science in that, then we've done very well.
But, wow. Well, it's strange now, but this is actually going to be the end. We're not doing the DnDebrief.
No,
No, I know. That's, yeah.
It's
Shall
all-
I?
Everything's wrong.
Shall I wrap it up? Because
Yeah.
Do it. Yeah.
I feel like weird wrapping up because I wasn't here
Shall
at
I
the start.
just try
You
and
didn't
turn
do the
down
intro.
these sound
Oh yeah,
effects?
yeah.
Make if you
we
want to
need
pee,
the-
Ali. I will not lie.
We need
Yeah.
the music adjustments. Thank you to everyone who stayed with us to the end of that in chat. It was a late one today, so thanks those of you who stuck around. Hopefully other people are also enjoying this on YouTube and podcasts. There are many ways that you can listen to the RPGeeks do our Dungeons and our Dragons and our Science. You can find all of them linked to on our website, rpgeeks.co.uk, and you can follow us on many of the social medias at rpgeeksdnd, where we post things about TTRPGs and about science. So yeah, please come say hi. Hope you've had a good time, and we'll see you live next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Woo!
Bye, everybody.
Bye.